Hello, boys and girls. How are we doing? This music is too loud in my ears. Let's adjust that. Where's the button for my face? Where is it? Same place it always is. It's on the stream deck, of course. Hello, folks. Hello and welcome to the pre-stream stream. This is where the cool kids hang. How are we doing? Guess what, folks? This is going to be new. Microphone's coming loose. This is going to be new. We're at Beagles. Thank you for the bits. We're going to play some Football Manager tonight. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought we'll actually play some Football Manager? Can we put up a poll? Will Kev play FM21 tonight? Only if I can put it on my YouTube channel community page. That's where polls go now. Even polls that we do on stream, we're doing them there. Oh my word. I won the KFC giveaway in the stream with Ben. Is he sorting that out, the code? Yeah. I don't know when or how. I should probably ask him about that. Remind me. Send me a tweet or something to remind me. Chase him up. And I'll get the code sorted for you. But yeah, Ben's got them all. So I'll just get them across from the man himself. Is the new LOLLUJO live channel not actually new and you used it for other stuff in the past? Good eye. Very good eye. How are we all anyway? Are we all good? Did we all enjoy the stream on Sunday night? That went differently to how I anticipated, didn't it? Just wanted to jump in and thank you for Sunday night. Inspired me to start YouTube. Also, DaVinci Resolve is free. Hooray! Lovely stuff. Weetabix. I've added Weetabix and marmalade to my Tesco shopping order this week. With all this Weetabix buzz on social media, I need to show you me eating Weetabix and marmalade because it's delicious and I want to... Am I using the new mic? I am using the new mic. Don't I sound lovely? Don't I sound... Someone, I think it was Mike, said in the comments to today's YouTube video, it sounds weird today. And I was like, yeah, it's my real voice rather than the really edited voice that I used to use. FM Works, thank you very much for the sub. I thanked you before it even came through. I saw it in the chat. You need to take a photo and get it to the Weetabix company. Well, my theory is, in probably Sunday night's pre-stream stream, I'll sit here and eat it. I'll prepare it, Weetabix in hand, marmalade in hand. I'll have to bring a small amount of butter. I don't want to leave the butter in here for 3 hours. But prepare it on stream, eat it, take that clip out, send it to Weetabix. Kev becomes an internet sensation overnight. That's the plan. Have I seen their tweet of Weetabix and baked beans? I have. And then they did another one of Weetabix with innocent smoothie over the top as well. But yeah, I'm definitely doing some Weetabix. Am I going to be watching the Posh game tonight? No, because I'm streaming. I'm live on Twitch right now. You should come and watch. I'm not one of these people who can watch a football match and play a video game and interact with the chat all at the same time. It just confuses my tiny brain. I'll keep up to date with the score. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to watch it. Because I had to miss last night's stream. Usually I have one night off streaming during the week and I don't really necessarily plan when that night is. But last night Anna didn't finish work until nearly 8 o'clock. So we had to sort that. Your lighting is changing to colour grading as per your sponsored piece on the vlog. Partly. So partly I've just dimmed the lights down a little bit and matched the colour and the white balance on the two cameras. Because before... the close-up face cam was much darker than the wider camera that I'm on now. But I've also picked up a new lens for this wider camera, which is how we've got the nice bokeh blurred background effect here that we never used to have on the previous lens. So yeah, it's, in all seriousness, everything is all the new audio settings and stuff on the microphone, the new video stuff. It's all off the back of stuff that I've learned off of Skillshare. Skillshare's great. FM Works, 1,000 bits. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I worded that badly, Kev. Meant, is DaVinci Resolve free? Yes, DaVinci Resolve is free, I think. Is Dave snoring? I can't hear him snoring at the moment, but the music is quite loud in my ears at the moment, so I wouldn't necessarily be able to. He is lying in his new spot, though, which I tweeted about earlier today. I don't know. Why is Dave Cam just me? Oh, because I messed around with it with Ben the other night, didn't I? I'm going to have to rebuild Dave Cam at some point. Ah, we're there too soon. Yeah, we don't have a Dave Cam currently because I had to rearrange it all so that Ben could be on screen. He couldn't cope with not being on screen. Should just stream yourself doing commentary for Posh. Might get you a job on the BBC if you're not rubbish. They know where to find me. They know I can commentate. They don't have to watch the videos. I can commentate on football matches. Can we get to playing, not talking? I'm here to watch FM. I mean, are you new then? We chat for the first 5 minutes and then we play Football Manager. And I promise you now, Scooter Dude, if you don't like talking, you're probably not going to enjoy the stream. We are going to play some Football Manager now because it is 7 o'clock. But yeah, streams are very different to YouTube. My streams, certainly. Right, let's do a little recap on where we are in the save because it's been a little while. I don't think we've streamed Football Manager for about a week. I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday was the last stream. So I'll do a little update on where we are in the save, and then we'll crack on and try and win the league. So this is non-league to legend UK and Ireland with a little bit of a twist, or two twists really. Twist number one is we started unemployed, which we never usually do in non-league to legend. That's confirmation the posh match has just kicked off. And rule number two was we weren't going to go to England until the end. So we're going to do a bit of a tour of the islands and then we'll end up in England last. So we started unemployed. The first job we were offered was at LLANELLI in Wales. We're still there now. We joined them midway through season one. We were about 8 games in. We ended up finishing 3rd in the Welsh second tier. But there's only one promotion spot out of the Welsh second tier, so that wasn't good enough for us to get promoted. But last year, we won the Welsh second tier, whilst also getting through to the final of the Welsh Cup, where we lost on penalties because of Clates. It was all his fault. And then this is season 3, our first season in the top flight of Welsh football in the Welsh Premier League. We started really, really well, but form is proving a little bit harder to come by as we enter into the second half of the season. We're getting very close. Did I get much snow today? We got a bit, Scotty. Thank you for the sub. We got a bit of snow. We're very close to the loser group and champions group split, and just recently we've been struggling just a little bit. There's been friendlies on. Oh, of course, the World Cup. I forgot about the World Cup. So the World Cup's been happening. But just before the World Cup, we lost a couple of games or struggled a little bit. So this is what it looks like now. We've got 5 or 6 games left before it splits. And then we play everybody in the top half, I think, twice more. Assuming we're in the top half, which we're going to be, aren't we? We're going to... yes, we play everyone in the top half twice more. It would be really nice to win the league, because then I think we might be able to get a job in another country. Which we did apply for jobs in Northern Ireland last summer, but got turned down for them. I'm thinking if we've got a Welsh title under our belts, we can then look to move on to Northern Ireland. Keep an eye on Charlie Ridge as well. The man is spectacular. They are goals, what he has scored there. Mr. Davidson, thank you very much for the sub. Lovely way to start the stream. But it looks like, what are we doing? We're about to play Newtown in the Welsh Cup. Then we've got a bunch more friendlies. We're not actually back. So the World Cup is still going on. We're not actually back for league football for another month yet. But we have. It looks like right at the end of the last stream, I brought a load of players in on trial. So I guess I had a plan. Does anyone remember what the plan was at the end of the last stream? Trying to turn this ship around, I think, was the general gist of it. But I don't think we've got any money. We could maybe squeeze in one player. Maybe. Right, let's have a look at these trialists and see if any of them... Do we play... We don't play a 4-4-2. We play a diamond. That's what we normally play. Is that Mauro Bandera? Oh, Mauro. Come and join us. You'll have a lovely old time. I mean, there's a lot of good players here, but I suggest we're probably not going to get any of them. Shall we try and get a striker? 28-year-old striker isn't really my idea of exciting, but Mauro Bandera is. I think we're going to try and get him because he's a hero from the home save. We're not going to get him, are we? Come on, Mauro. Come on now. Let's bump these bits up a little bit. Let's try and convince him that coming to Wales is a good idea. Why is that going so high? That's not what I wanted to do. There you go. Oh, Mauro Bandera's coming in. Beautiful. Can we squeeze anyone else in? Who's this guy? Harry Phipps. He's probably a little bit old for us to be able to afford him. Let's not terminate the trial. Let's try and sign him. Is he going to be cheap? Nope. We're just looking to squeeze in the odd cheap player here and there. Jaden Charles. He's got the same haircut as me. Did he cut his in the dark in the bathroom as well? Right, we should be able to get him as well, hopefully. Squeeze in a couple of new boys. We don't have any signing on fees to splash around. We didn't offer Bandera a signing on fee, did we? Because if so, that deal's not going to go through because we don't have any money for signing on fees. So I might have just messed that one up completely. Have Posh already scored? No, it's my watch telling me to do some breathing. Thanks, watch. So we'll... Oh, Willie... Oh, do I really want to bring in... Oh, it's Wooly, not Willie. What kind of name is Wooly? How is Wooly... Scottish people... I need Scottish people to come and help me and explain what is going on here. How is Wooly short for William? Someone explain that one to me. Thanks. But I also can't spell Muir. Spell Muir? Say Muir. We can't get Willy or whatever his name was. Jonathan Flatt, we've signed him before in another save. Probably for home, maybe. Last year, Posh are losing. Oh, yeah, I just have had that come through on my watch. Beautiful. Glad I didn't pay my tenner to watch that tonight. Is anyone going to explain the Wooly situation to me? Because I don't understand. Who's Kieran Coates and do we care if he leaves? Probably not. This might make room for somebody else. So, yeah, you can go. Flat was at King's Lynn, was he? Okay. Right, why is this keep... it's constantly defaulting to a system I don't want to play. Who's this? Inverted Nips. That is a great name. That is a great name. Thank you very much for the sub. It's not often I see a name and it's like, oh, hey, you got me. You got me with a chuckle. Good work. Thank you for the sub. Have we hit a hype train as well? Choo choo indeed. Choo choo. My goodness me. Right. This will do. We'll get to know the team again, I'm sure, over the next few minutes. I'm looking at those names thinking, I don't know who them lot are. It's Wooly, not Woolly. What on earth is the difference? Surely both of those are pronounced the same way. Wooly came from Willy, just adapted from the way the Scots pronounce it. Just ridiculous. So they're even acknowledging they were pronouncing it wrong before because they've had to start spelling it differently. Oh, my goodness. Right, should we do a football? I'd like to do a football. We just won a penalty. We have won a penalty. Lovely. Wally. Kev ignoring me tonight because Town are just... I mean, I'm not going to ignore you, Rob, because you know how this works. We're going to turn this ship around. We like to give teams an early lead. He has to be Big Wooly. But he's not... He wanted £450 a week. We're not... I don't care how big his Wooly is. He's not getting £450 a week out of me. So what do we think of the new microphone, by the way? Does it sound beautiful? Was it worth £400? We've now got like an £800 audio setup. It better sound good, or I'm suing everyone who told me this is like top tier. Biner. Thank you very much for the old Subaroonie. Sounds good to me. That's the important thing. Is it still snowing? It's been snowing on and off today. We had a lot of snow overnight, not last night, the night before, because driving Anna to work on Monday morning was properly treacherous. The car slid onto a roundabout. Luckily, there was no one on the roundabout, but I started to brake early for the roundabout like a good boy, and it just started sliding. Like really, really slow, and just really slow slid onto the roundabout and came to a stop about halfway into the roundabout. If there'd have been a truck coming or something, then that would have been my new car all pickled. Did Anna get a new mic? Yeah, Anna's had her new mic a couple of weeks. We got Anna one of the new Elgato ones, which are really cool. They are really cool. If you're looking for a USB mic, the Elgato Wave is a really nice piece of kit. I bet the mic is one of those things where I don't notice a difference, but if I listen to an older video, they'll sound like trash. Yeah, I don't know how much of a difference. Certainly if you listen to one from before I had the previous mic, when I was still using Blue Yeti, that sounds like toilet compared to what I've got now. The Rode Procaster that I had before, I mean, that in itself was a couple of £100 off a microphone. It was a good microphone. My only issue that I had with that is that no matter how hard I tried, I could not tweak the settings so that I could lean back like this and you could still hear me without it sounding awful when I was in close like this. So that's the reason for the upgrade. Theoretically, I can now turn away and you can still hear me. It will still sound a little bit different, but I can turn away, you can still hear me. I can lean over here, you can still hear me. And it shouldn't sound terrible. Just up close talking into it like this, you're not going to notice much of a difference, I don't think, because the last one was a good microphone for just straight up proper radio style audio work. But flailing around like a streamer, this one's better. Heaps more Barry White in this mic. Well, I did tweak the settings on the Go XLR as well. I actually thought I'd taken some of the bass out, but maybe I haven't. What's happened to my old mic at the moment? It's on the floor. Just here. I should probably sell it. Like I say, it's a £200 microphone that I only bought a year and a half ago. So I should probably sell that, really. Or at least not leave it on the floor, because if Hannah walks in and sees that on the floor, she will kill me. Am I going to do any more content clinics? Probably, but not like immediately. Give it a month or so. We'll see. I want everyone who was on it the first time to have the opportunity to improve their channels first. See if they follow through on the stuff that we've done, and then maybe have a couple of them back on and some new people. And see if Ben wants to be involved in doing something again, or if we go with someone else. We could maybe have a rotating cast. Maybe get someone else involved. We'll have to see. I'm not really sure yet. Like I say, what happened on Sunday night was not planned. It kind of came from nowhere. I decided to do it just before I did it. And then we were making it up as we went along, and it wasn't supposed to go as long as it did. And then it did. And then it was really fun. So, I don't know. Use the old one as an Anna mic when she drops by. That would involve getting a whole separate audio interface, because there's only one input on the Go XLR.
Saying my Twitch name correctly. Hope you're well.
Oh God, I've got to remember again. The Davy Scoop. Can we make it 2 in a row for saying my Twitch name correctly? I think I have. Thank you very much for the sub. Has Anna forgiven me? What for Sunday? Yeah, she's come around. To be fair to her, she didn't know what I was planning on doing. She thought I was coming on here to rant at people. Did any of the streamers that I reviewed get the hump? If they did, they haven't told me they did. That's a lovely finish from Ridge. And, I mean, if they did, then it's their own silly fault. Because I was quite open about the fact that I was going to be brutal. So, yeah, if they did, then... Like I said in the tweets, if they did, then they should probably give up content creation now, because they've not got a thick enough skin for it. Do I like streaming or recording videos better? I like the fact that I can do both as part of my job. I really enjoy both of them. They're two very different things. This is much closer to what my childhood dream was, of being a radio presenter. This, I feel like I'm doing a radio show. I sit here for a 3-hour slot and I get to chat and interact with you lot, and there's music, and the game's secondary, really, and we're just here having a chat. So this is really fun. But I like the storytelling and the creative process of the videos more. So with the videos, the story and everything is front and center, which I don't know if it's a strength or a weakness of my Twitch, that's not the case on Twitch. I probably should focus in on story a little bit more here, but I just like having a chat. How are you and your family? Loved the meltdown video of Sander Sager's. The second one you did with him, it was amazing to watch. The second one? I've only done one video with Sander. He's taken a highlight out of it. The Ancient Clown, thank you very much for the sub. That podcast, I don't know how much, I haven't watched it, so I don't know how much he left in of the chat we had. Or whether it was just completely uncut. But Sander approached me like 3 years ago to do that initially. And at the time, I think I had about 20,000 subscribers. He had about 500. And we just couldn't get it arranged. And then he was busy with uni, and we stopped talking. Not like we fell out. We didn't really know each other to begin with. It was just a case of we were trying to get it set up. We tried 4 or 5 times, couldn't, and then it just got put on the back burner. And he got back in touch with me in like November time, and I said again, look, Football Manager's just come out. I don't have time at the moment. Contact me in the new year. And then he contacted me in the new year, and by now I've got like 200,000 subscribers. He has like 10,000 now. We've both had huge growth, and it was a really good interview. It's probably the best interview I've done. I think he's got a future, that boy. You want to watch that space. He's young as well, annoyingly young. We've signed Mauro Bandera, by the way. One of the heroes of home is in, and he's probably the best player at the club, or up there close to being one of the best players at the club, which is a nice little signing to make. Shell and Wallins. Thank you very much for the sub. I probably said your name wrong. I apologise, but thank you both for subbing. My childhood dream was to become a football presenter on Soccer Saturday. That would be pretty fun as well. Anything like that would be fun. Stuff like that's quite achievable as well. I don't know how old you are now, Joe, but start podcasting or something. Get some experience doing that kind of stuff and work your way up from like BBC local radio, who hire anyone really. You just have to be persistent. And I'm sure it's an achievable thing if you wanted to do it. I signed him, was good up to League One, so tear the Welsh League apart. Brilliant. What's the temperature there in the poor man's winter? I mean, it's like 0 degrees in real temperature. I don't know what that is in funny American temperatures, but it's 0 in real temperatures, so it's not like super cold. I was going to say it's not like freezing cold. It literally is the definition of freezing cold. That's exactly what it is. Whalins. So, long story. Most people call me Whaley. Okay, hello Whaley. You were critical, not mean. What, on the thing? Yeah, I think so. I'd like to think it was constructive criticism, and I know constructive criticism is usually something people hide behind when they're just being a wang. But I think I hope it was clear I was genuinely trying to help people. We've signed Jaden Charles as well, formerly of both Derby and Forest. How does that transfer happen? Bet that went down well. Where's he from? Where does it say where he was born? Oh, London. Right there, so he doesn't care. If he was from the East Midlands, you can't make that transfer. I imagine we're now well over our wage budget. We are, so we need to let somebody go now. But I think that's a couple of good signings. It's right at 32 degrees. You can't call that cold. Most days here it's in the low teens. I mean, you literally can call it cold, because if you put a glass of water outside the front door in this weather and left it there for a few hours and brought it back in again, it would be frozen. If you don't think you can call that cold, I don't understand. That's definitely cold. I'm currently a radio presenter on a local FM station. It's great fun. I literally just asked did they have any slots and got lucky after starting as a researcher. That's what I mean. If you generally with local radio, if you're persistent enough, the opportunities will come up. And from there, if you're good at it, that's how most of the people who do the match reports on Soccer Saturday, I imagine most of them started in local radio. I know on the rare occasions I watch it, you occasionally get names that I recognise from previously being on local radio. I thought your clinic thing struck a good tone. First time I've really been able to see you as a teacher, to be honest. Yeah, you don't lose the whole teaching thing, do you? I hope people. I think it went down well. I mean, the feedback that I've had over the last few days on social media has been overwhelmingly positive. So I'm sure there's a few people out there who've got a grump on about some element of it somehow. But you know what? Don't care, because I won over a lot of people. I think I got like 100 new Twitter followers in 12 hours off the back of doing that, which is pretty rare for me. And I think it's pretty clear that was 100 people who previously thought I was an arrogant turd, and I think I changed some minds, and being able to change some minds is awesome. Right, should we try and sign this guy as well? I don't think we're gonna have the money, but he's a little bit younger. Oh, he only wants £80 a week and we can't even afford that. We need to get rid of somebody first. John Inverdale started on Radio Links, went on to be main sports presenter on TV. That's awesome. My dad's a head teacher and he acted like a teacher when at home. Yeah, I wasn't a teacher for long enough to act like a teacher all the time, I don't think. I was only a teacher for 5 years, so I had life before being a teacher, and I've been out of it almost as long as I was in it now. It's been nearly 4 years since I left. In fact, it is close to 4 years to the week since I resigned. I did then work 7 months notice because I stayed on until the end of the year, but it's about 4 years ago. It was mid-February 2017 that I resigned. So it's been a while of me not being a teacher. Posh conceded. What, again? Or are you just giving me old news? I think Sunday proved the any publicity is good publicity thing. I don't know that it necessarily did. I think I handled what was a tricky situation on Twitter better than I've ever handled anything before in my life. I took a massive risk. Anna was telling me it was a really bad idea, and she was right. It was a terrible idea and could have completely backfired. But I just thought, you know what? I'm going to back myself here to prove that I'm not what some of these people are saying I am. And I had to go in there believing I was going to be able to do that, and I did it. So, huzzah, Kev's a hero. Oh, right, this guy wants a new contract. Does he know we've got no money at the moment? Yes, you've got lots of potential, Simon, but we've got no money. So unless you want a tiny contract... Oh, you do want a tiny contract? Well, then fair enough, Simon. Why didn't you say, I want a tiny amount of money, please? Because then I would have given you it earlier. I want to get you down to £20 a week, because then we don't have to break another 20 to give you your fiver. What did I teach? Computer science. My dad's been a teacher for 25 years and a head teacher for 5 years. Yeah, it wasn't for me doing that. I was on the fast track towards that kind of thing. I was a head of faculty by the time I left. I was going to be on the leadership team within 3 or 4 years, whether at that school or moving somewhere else, like at assistant head teacher level. And I imagine if I'd have stayed in teaching by now, I would be looking for, right, give me 3 or 4 years and I'll be a head teacher myself. I think it was very much on that fast track, and I just looked ahead at that and thought, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I could get up every day and go and do that. I don't love it. I never loved it. And that, I think because teaching is such a vocation, right? It's not a job, it's a vocation. You have to live being a teacher. And I was never going to. It was never that important to me. So that's when I knew I probably needed to get out, because I was never going to get the satisfaction from it that I get from this. So definitely the right call, coming to do this instead. What is it with all these grumpy boys? Just sit back and enjoy the World Cup, lads. What's my opinion on Derby County? I don't really have one. The question is, did you manage to win Anna over and convince her it was a good idea after? Yes. Well, no, I convinced her it went well. She still maintains it was a bad idea. And she's right. It was a bad idea. It was a huge risk, but I'm naturally quite the risk taker. Whereas for some people, I mean, it could have completely backfired and I could have upset a lot of people and really become the villain of the Football Manager community. What's the tallest player I've seen on FM21? On FM21, probably Danny Pritchard at 6'6". I remember Husek at Forest Green a few years ago was 6'7". I think he's the tallest player I've ever had in Football Manager in general. But 6'6" for Danny Pritchard is I think it's the tallest I've seen on FM21. Incredible vocation, terrible career. I mean, if you love it, it's a great career. Being a teacher. If you get, because no matter what teachers say, having worked in it, you can earn an absolute ton of money as a teacher if you're good and if you progress up the ladder. So it's another one of those things where if you love it, and most good teachers really, really love it and can't imagine doing anything else, and if that's how you feel about it, if you really, really love it, then it's a great way to get paid a lot of money doing something that you love. Right, we've sold a player now, so we might be able to squeeze a slightly higher contract, and this would be an improvement in every position now if we can get this guy. But he is really sticking. We're going to have to do what we did with Bandera and just bump up some of these bonuses. See if that's enough. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. High risk, but also high reward if it went well, which it did. Yeah, exactly. That's how I do everything in life. High risk, high reward. I've been doing homeschooling for my 11 and 13-year-olds, and it sucks. Anyone who wants to be a teacher is a special kind of person. Yeah, some people love it. Cave, you're a legend for donating to the autism charity. My partner said it made waves in the online autism communities. Did it? Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. I think, including that one, in fact, I can check now. I don't know what my current running total is for I was going to say donations, but it's not me making these donations. It's the fundraising that we've done. But we've done quite a few fundraisers for the National Autistic Society now. Oh, I can't drag it over to this monitor. I've done this on the wrong monitor. I'm just going to log in on here. Is that switched over? I want to show you this because this is cool. Right, go to this so I can log in. Kev, learn the buttons. Right, I'm just gonna log in. I want to show you what we have done, and this is all Twitch. This is all stuff we've done on Twitch over the last 3 or 4 years. Fundraising for the National Autistic Society. So I don't think there's any personal information on here. £14,889 in total now we've raised. So, okay, the first 800 was for Macmillan cancer thing, but if you take that out, that's still £14,000 we've raised for the National Autistic Society just through stuff we've done on Twitch in the last 3 years. So thank you to all of you. That is a sensational amount of money for us to have raised. I'm a little bit confused about why it says I've only given 441, because I gave 500 just from the does it not? Maybe I did it under a different account. You watched me do it. We definitely gave the donation. But yeah, £14,000 we've raised for the National Autistic Society just through us doing this on Twitch like this, and you lot making donations. So thank you. I think that's going to be a regular thing on Streamer Showdowns. I mean, I'm only human. If they one day announce a 30 grand prize, I might keep some of that. But for as long as it's a £500 prize, I'm happy to say I'll just donate that every time I win it, which will obviously be every time. And we'll do that whole fundraising thing on the Sunday every time. And we'll see how much we can accumulate over the course of FM21. I don't expect to raise 3 grand every time, but holy smokes, it's great that we did 3 grand that time. We've just signed another defender. We are signing really top quality players for this LLANELLI team, boys and girls. That is 3 really good signings we've just brought in this little gap for the World Cup. That perhaps is how much I've given to other people's campaigns, Scotty. That might make more sense. So that money's just resting in my account. No, that money goes straight to the charities. That's how Just Giving works. Today's National Pizza Day in the US, is it? I want a National Pizza Day. We probably do have one here. When's Pancake Day? Talking of days, that must be soon. Does that mean every showdown you'll be making deals with the other streamers and questioning whether they hate charity or not? I mean, it worked this time, didn't it? Why not? It's a week today, according to Miles. Well, I need to get some flour in my shopping this week then. In the UK, it's Chicken Tuesday, is it? 2 days ago, it was National Yorkshire Pudding Day. Nice. We've just had a cash injection. Did we need a cash injection? We probably did need a cash injection. Here I am bringing in League 2 quality footballers, and the board are going, can you stop spending money, please? I thought Posh had equalised, but it was a notification telling me Kings Lynn were about to kick off. Why I've still got Kings Lynn on my alerts, I don't know. I'm thinking of going freelance. What's your advice? I've never been freelance, so I can give you general self-employment advice, and that would be, I would recommend opening a separate account for your tax, and every time you get paid, put a quarter of what you've been paid into your tax account. You probably won't have, it probably won't, at the end of the year, you probably won't have to spend it all on your tax, but you won't get a nasty surprise that you can't afford, and you might find there's a little bit left over. Like we did that. That's how we do it. And that's how we went to Disneyland the other year. My tax bill was quite a lot less than I was expecting it to be. And after we'd paid the tax, there was like $2,000 left in the tax account, and we were like, well, should we go to Disneyland then? So we did. But yeah, that's my biggest tip for anyone going self-employed. 25% of everything you earn, stick it somewhere you can't touch it. Do it there on payday. The moment it comes in, 25%, get it somewhere else. And then you don't have to worry about not being able to pay your tax at the end of the year then. Am I doing anything for Autism Awareness Day this year? I haven't been asked this year. Normally they've been in touch by now. So I don't know. I don't know what the National Autistic Society have got planned, because generally I take their lead with that kind of stuff. I'm on their content creator team. So I'm sure they'll be in touch with what the plan is, and I'll come up with something from there. Unless they've decided they don't love me anymore because I forgot to take that phone call last week. How do you sort out a pension when you're self-employed? I mean, you can set up a personal pension, like a stakeholder pension or something like that. I don't have a pension at the moment. I save money in other ways. As a still a relatively newly self-employed person, for me, it's more important to have the flexibility. So I use my ISA allowance rather than paying into a pension, because that way, if the proverbial hits the fan, I can get that money back, and you still have tax benefits by doing it within your ISA shell. You probably need to talk to an accountant or a financial advisor, though, would be my recommendation. Who am I apologising to here? Sam French. I mean, I don't want to play him. Just stop being whiny, Sam. Maybe that's what the phone call was about. Maybe it was. Maybe I need to rearrange that call. I didn't realise how common undiagnosed adult autism is. Yeah, I know. And then it's really difficult to get a diagnosis as well. Ipswich have a goalie called Holy and a bishop in midfield. Peterborough need a miracle to win tonight. Yeah. I really enjoyed the content clinic stream. Excellent. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. I also enjoyed it. I think it was a lot of fun. Right, are we ever going to play a football match? I think as the World Cup finished now, it must be. A few of you are saying England. Did England win the World Cup? Of course they did. This is Football Manager. Marcus Rashford, top scorer and best player. Phil Foden, most assists. Rashford, third. So England beat Croatia in the final, knocked out Argentina in the semis. Obviously, if you're another flavour other than England, you might want to look out for your flavour on here. But we've knocked Holland out in the quarterfinals. Second round, England beating Slovenia. I'm looking for any of the other home nations, but it doesn't seem like they've had a very nice time. And group stage is there. So none of the other British nations even qualified for the World Cup. Yikes. How do you see the team of the tournament? That's what I'm looking for. FM Benji, thank you very much for the sub. There is a team of the tournament, isn't there? And I don't know how to find it. It must be in it. There you go. There it is. So there's your World Cup dream team. So this is the 2022 World Cup. It's almost entirely England players. John Stones and Aaron Ramsdale in the World Cup dream team next year. Do you think that's going to happen, folks? Does that feel likely currently? Basically, I'm going self-employed as a journalist, setting up my own music review site. Yeah, I would definitely recommend just having a word with an accountant and or a financial advisor. I'd almost say, and this is probably terrible financial advice coming from a qualified financial advisor, so this isn't financial advice. I didn't worry about retirement planning for the first 2 years I was self-employed. I was too busy worrying about making sure I could put food on the table, knowing that if it went well, I could worry about retirement later, and if it didn't, I would have enough time to fix it if I missed 2 years of pension contributions. So, but the tax thing you need to be on top of from the start, because that can ruin you. Only paying your tax twice a year it takes some getting used to. Right, don't. We need more Kev and Benji talking videos. The stream the other day was enjoyable. The banter's amazing. We'll have to figure out what we can do. Because we're both very Let's Play focused, it's there's not much opportunity for collaboration, is there? It's not like either of us do Zealand kind of stuff, where it's pretty easy to collaborate with people all the time. We've already done drafts on each other's channels this year. The Streamer Showdown is really the place where we can collaborate. The stocks and shares lifetime ISA is what that was my first step into retirement planning once I decided I could afford to do it again. I'd always set up a private pension if you can afford to. I can certainly understand the thought process there. And like I say, the only reason I haven't yet is because I'm not going to be contributing enough to go outside of my ISA limit anyway. And I like the flexibility at this stage of being able to draw it back out of an ISA again if something goes wrong. Which is obviously isn't ideal. You should only invest money that you want to leave in there long term. I know all that. But at the same time, it would be difficult for me to commit the amount of money to a pension that I pay into an ISA, because you can't get it out of a pension if it all goes wrong. Kev, I'm halfway through watching the VOD from the Creator Help stream. I just wanted to say it's pushed me into a little rebranding and to fill up my keywords. Good. I mean, I've made a rod for my own back here with all this, haven't I? Everyone's going to be competing with me on search now. I've been the king of Football Manager search for the last 3 years. I'm going to have to come up with a new trick. Just keep churning out those community page polls. That's the answer these days. If in doubt, community page poll. Right, this guy can leave because he's not played yet this season. So let's free up transfer budget again. Basically, anyone who's not playing, we'll let them go, because then we can bring in better quality players, which we do seem to be doing at the moment. Oh, you've got low self-belief. Leave then. Don't worry, I don't believe in you either. Leave. What a monster. Do you think having the streamer showdown once a month is too often? No. We did it once a month last year, and it was brilliant. Loads of fun. It allows you to get more people involved. If we only did it like 4 times a year, it would just be the same 9 people every time. Because if you're not doing it very often, everyone's going to want to do it every time, and people are going to expect to see who they expect to see every time. So it doesn't really work. Whereas doing it monthly means that there will be a number of showdowns this year that I don't do, that Ben doesn't do, that Zealand doesn't do, Jack doesn't do. And it gives other people a chance to get involved and have a go. Oh, was that a posh goal? Yes! We've equalised! Huzzah! Beautiful stuff. Are the community page polls working? It's difficult to say. I've picked up like 200 subs in the last 2 days, but that's not a mile away from what my average is at the moment. So I guess the jury's out. Invest in property as soon as you can. That is the long-term plan. But I don't know. The flat next door didn't sell at auction. The auction was last week and it didn't sell. And it's now been relisted with a lower guide price. And there's another auction in a couple of weeks. And I was talking to Anna on the way home for picking her up from work saying, I really am thinking maybe we should buy this flat next door. But I don't know. It's a little bit too much. It's too much of a chunk to bite off at the moment, I think. Lifetime ISA if you want to buy a property. Well, I've only got 1 year of being able to do a lifetime ISA left because I think lifetime ISA is only available for young people, isn't it? I think it's only for under 40s, and I turn 39 this year. So yeah, depending on who you're giving that advice to, lifetime ISAs are great, but they are aimed at younger people. Big Johnson scores. Hey. Slumlord Kevin coming. It's always been the plan. How about Football Manager Pyramid for the Streamer Showdown? That might make things interesting. It's already plenty interesting. Remember, it's not interesting because it's top tier Football Manager competitive play. It's interesting because you like the creators who are doing it and they make it entertaining. So if you opened it up to be a skill-based thing rather than a who's going to make for the most interesting show kind of thing, it would very quickly have all of your favourite content creators fall out of it completely, and it'd be a bunch of people you've never heard of who probably aren't very interesting but are really good at the game, competing with each other whilst not really saying anything. So you have to be very careful about making it too much like that. Could you imagine what would happen if the Spiffing Brit did an FM is perfectly balanced video? I would encourage him to do that. I don't know. It's probably too niche for him to do. If he wants to collaborate on one, I'm here. I can point you towards everything you need to know. I think it would be great. I think it's... someone said it earlier in the stream. All publicity is good publicity. If someone like him does a Football Manager video, that's great stuff. Keister13, thank you very much for the bits. Not for the bits, for the donation. Never watched an ad, so this is for the hundreds of hours of content. Put it towards the flat next door. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. You need to be under 40. You need to be 40 or under to open a lifetime ISA, but you get the 25% interest until you're 50. Okay. So, I mean, I'm 10 years out with the financial advisor game. If I open one next year, because I've already got a normal ISA this year, so I guess I can't do both. If I open one of them next year, which is my last opportunity to do one, can I continue paying into it after I'm 40, or is it just a one-off? It's $4,000, isn't it? Put my $4,000 in, and that be that. The former financial advisor taking financial advice from a bunch of folk on the internet. Beautiful. Most of the streamers I started following thanks to the content in the showdown, like Clate's Tom FM second yellow card. Awesome. 25% interest a year on up to 4k a year until you're 50. You need to open before you're 40. But I haven't made substitutions because we're talking about this. Can I pay into it after I'm 40? Or does it count as like... I assume it will just be a case of put the money in this year and then leave it there. And I won't be able to keep adding into it. All this talk of ISAs and interest just tells me I really need to sort my finances out and stop paying takeout. Yeah. Well, to be fair, if you're paying into a pension at work, it's less of a priority for you. Stuff like this is important for me because if I don't do something like this, I mean, I'd like to think I'm 15, 20 years from being able to scale back work. But in order to do that, I need to, have some money. I'm off to open an ISA for my 7-year-old nephew. Nice. Is the flat next door that expensive that a millionaire like you can't afford now? I mean, I could buy it. I just don't know if it's the right thing to do. It would basically take everything I've got put aside to go and buy it. You can only withdraw... Hold on. 25% bonus every year until you're 50, so it's defo worth doing. Nice. You can only withdraw under specific circumstances without paying a penalty. Buying your first home, terminal illness. Well, I still haven't bought my first home, so there we go. Unless I buy the flat next door. Maybe I'll buy the flat next door. I don't really want to let someone go out on loan at 50% of their salary. That seems silly. Kevy 7 figures. Not just yet. I'm not even Kevy 6 figures. It's very much sadness. Right. Why is Bandera not in this team when I do quick pick? Because he's tired. That's all right. I'll allow that. Because he absolutely should be in there under any other circumstance. Because he's a hero. Right. Excellent. Do I rent? Yeah, we rent at the moment. Why did I join this chat to give financial advice? Don't apologise. I like it. I like talking about this kind of stuff. Kevy 1 figure. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Japanese millionaire. That's the important thing. It was always my life's goal to become a Japanese millionaire because back in the day on Championship Manager, you'd occasionally get a tycoon takeover from a Japanese millionaire. And I always thought I want to be a Japanese millionaire one day. I don't think my definition of what a Japanese millionaire is the same as the one in the game, but I'm still taking my definition. If I wanted to, I could go and buy 1,000,000 yen. Therefore, I'm a Japanese millionaire. That's all that really matters. Does Mrs. Weirmouth not want the flat next door? I'll have to ask her. Korean. Yeah, I think I'm a Vietnamese billionaire. I think someone was looking up. I think you only need like 1,200 quid to be a Vietnamese billionaire. So I should imagine a lot of us are Vietnamese billionaires. How's the snorer? Dave's not snoring at the moment. He's all right. A Zimbabwean trillionaire. You don't get a lot of tycoon takeovers from Zimbabwean trillionaires, though. Are you telling me I'm a billionaire? You're a Vietnamese billionaire, maybe. A North Korean billionaire. Don't think I can buy 1,000,000 of anything. Save up, you'll get there. You don't buy 1,000,000 yen. You exchange however many pounds you have for the equivalent amount of yen. Yeah, so you buy them. Just like you don't buy bananas. You exchange however many pounds you have for the equivalent amount of bananas. You're just rephrasing the same thing. That's exactly how buying works. You're exchanging currency for something else that is considered to have an equal value. You think if Ridge has another 3 seasons like this, potentially at a different club, he could get a knighthood? I think Ridge will be found out as soon as we play in a decent league. Remember, he's on loan from Accrington and couldn't get in their team. He is not a very good footballer, but this is a terrible league, which is why he looks so good. I mean, this is top tier football we're watching right here. This is beautiful. I could be a Nigerian millionaire. Just need to tell the prince chap. Oh, yeah, lovely. I only need 60 cents to be a Venezuelan millionaire. There you go. Whoever it was who said they couldn't buy 1,000,000 anything, you could be a Venezuelan millionaire. That feels like a t-shirt. Just a Venezuelan millionaire t-shirt. Am I a South African millionaire? I don't know. I don't know what the exchange rate is in South Africa. Gatford's confirmed you need £6,925 to be a Japanese millionaire. So if you've got more than that, you're a Japanese millionaire. Congratulations. Is my home save very close to a sir? I was thinking about that earlier, and I don't think so. I think they're all too young. I mean, if Harrison Davies is still playing for us in the Premier League, then obviously he'll be Sir Harrison Davies by then. He's the closest. But he's only 20 years old and hasn't played league football. So I think knighting him at this stage is very premature. I don't want to make that substitution. I want to get Bandera on. And we are going to get him to be... He can be a Mazzala. Beautiful. And then... Should we take Ridge off? Should we give Ridge a little bit of a rest? Probably won't do him any harm to have a little bit of a rest. And then for my final trick, we'll do that. Lovely. Club legend at 20 is crazy, though. Absolutely. I've seen... was it in Non-League Legend last year? Jaden Sancho was a Dortmund legend, even though he left him at like 21. So it is possible for it to happen, but you have to be so much better than everyone else you're playing with for the entire 3 or 4 years you're playing there to become a legend that young. Wasn't Tom Elliott young and had never played league football before he was knighted? Yeah, but Tom Elliott was a special case. Tom Elliott spent 3 years being considered never good enough and being forced to play out at wing back, and then emerged as a midfielder and scored the goals at Wembley to take us up. It was a real thing of legend with Sir Tom Elliott. The first player I knighted, I think. Harrison Davies is the home Marcus Rashford. Good enough on the pitch, but to get a knighted, he'd need to be handing out the leftovers of Mrs. Williams' spaghetti to the local folk. Maybe. Tom Elliott used to play for my team, Stockport. Tom Elliott's a lovely man. Where's he playing now? Bandera's come in and gone all big time. This is a different Mauro Bandera to what we know from home. He's big timing us. Train properly, Mauro. You lazy monster. How am I today? I'm good, thank you, wingman. Very good. Do an Aston Villa save, make us great again. Villa are doing all right on their own without my help, aren't they? How much help do Villa really need from me? I've got my next 2 saves lined up anyway. I know what my next 2 saves are going to be. And that'll get us through to FM22 then. Okay, this works. Did you know that Liam Delap in your Non-League Legend save is the son of long-throw maestro Rory Delap? I knew only from the comments section telling me over and over and over again because I didn't realise. I assumed he was a new gen. But then I also thought Pedri was a new gen. And everyone laughed at me in the comments about that as well. So, what do I know? Drop us a hint. I can do more than drop you a hint. I can outright tell you we're going to do Born in the USA, which I'm still not 100% sure whether that's going to be on Twitch or on YouTube. That decision will be made at some point. And then I'm going to do a Building a Nation Apollon style thing in Sweden with Djurgården, my team that I've got the shirt for behind me there. Well, behind the shirt that's there. The one that got sent through in that mystery box. Has Arsenal media team messaged you because of all my YouTube safe? No, Premier League teams never do. Even Posh never got in touch. Even though I've done stuff with Posh in the past. You know, Parsons' name isn't Liam, it's Lewis. Again, from reading the comments, I now know that. I don't know why I decided he was called Liam. If we sign him, he's absolutely getting his name changed to Liam Parsons. He didn't have a new gen face, Kev. How did you think that? Because loads of players don't have new gen faces now because of Zealand's face pack. It's messed everything up for me. Why Sweden? Because I got sent a Djurgården shirt. So, may as well put it to good use. I wanted to do an Apollon style save this year anyway. So, we'll do that in Sweden this time around. I don't know how good they are. Are they a good team in Sweden? They're probably a good team in Sweden. But it doesn't matter. It's about winning the Champions League with them. That's what becomes fun. As a Barca fan, I can confirm Pedri isn't a new gen. He's also not bad at football. Yeah, I've heard all about him now. But I didn't know before. Is the Sweden going to have edited facilities? Probably not. I think because we've done that with home, we don't need to do it again there. We'll put some other twist on it. We won't go director of football, don't you worry. But we'll have to put... I don't know, perhaps we could go all Swedish. But that probably is making it too hard. If we sign him, like you're going to be able to stop yourself. Have you seen how much he is? Talking about old Liam Parsons again. Posh want 150 million for him. Arsenal have got money, but they don't have 150 million pounds to spend on a defender. Oh, TNS are annoyingly good. Why not create a poll for your saves in Twitter where people like to see the saves? Because if I was going to do a poll, it would be on the YouTube community page where polls live now. You don't want to go all Swedish. All Nordic. What classes is Nordic? I don't see you as a shirt wearer. Where do you keep them all? They're all hung on the back of the door. You can see the Arsenal shirt peeking through from under the Football Manager shirt. The Djurgården shirt is behind all of them. The Home and the Bourne shirts are boxed up in the cupboard under the stairs. And my Posh shirt's now back in my wardrobe where I got it from. The Kettering... No, I never got a Kettering shirt. Actually, they promised me a shirt. I never got a Kettering shirt. But my Kings Lynn shirt, my Nuneaton shirt, they're all boxed up into the stairs as well. How do we get back into this game? Denmark, Norway, Finland, Iceland, Faroe. That's what I would say. We could maybe do it. So, this is probably as ignorant as when I said this is a British Isles save. Bear with me. I'm ignorant. Is that not just a Scandinavian save? Which is what I think I would refer to that as. This is where everyone who is Nordic or Scandinavian or whatever it is explains to me why that was a really offensive thing to say. Or maybe it's not. Iceland and Faroe Islands aren't Scandinavia. Okay. But they are Nordic. Do we care about getting Icelandic players in? Are they any good? I can't imagine them ever being good at football or beating England or anything. So, do we really need to involve Iceland in this? Finland is not Scandinavia, apparently. Okay. This is a British Isles save, though. Oh, don't get me... It's a UK and Ireland save, because I just don't want to annoy Irish people. Oh! Charlie! Come on now! Finland debates whether they are, but all except Nordic. Okay. I'll have to see which one's most Googleable. Because that might sway me a little bit more. I like doing 3 substitutions in one go. Leave me alone. Although actually we don't really have anyone to bring on now, so we'll just keep with what we're going to go attacking. We're trying to win the league here. This is our home game against our title rivals. Forget accepting a draw. We're going to go at them and we're going to try and win the football match. What's the worst that could happen? A draw is just as damaging as a defeat. So we may as well try and win. Come on, boys. Oh, should never have gone attacking. Oh, it doesn't matter. They're all Welsh teams. Right, Bandera's tired now. And we don't really have anyone to bring on for him, so he's just going to have to stay on. Unless we go with 3 up top, we could bring on Cole Stars. That's absolutely what we're doing. And we're going to have a pressing forward either side of him, and he's going to be the main focal point. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Let's have a late winner. Kev can't say Muir. How on earth is he going to pronounce Bjekorison like that? And if it's wrong, that'll be rule number 1 of the save. If I say it wrong, who cares? That's rule number 1. Come on, boys. Oh, that is big. That is a massive goal in this title push. Charlie Ridge. Oh, that is a huge goal. Now we drop back to positive. So we're now level on points with them with a game in hand. That is important. Praise everybody. Praise them all. 14 games unbeaten they were before that. Right, 3 games until the split. If we can be top of the league at the split, we know from a pollen. We don't drop after a split. For next FM, you can maybe do a home down under. I say it every year, but I might give home a rest next year. They were never supposed to come back this year, but the puns were too strong with the whole stay-at-home thing. But sooner or later, coronavirus goes away. Remember when we used to call it that? It's just COVID now, isn't it? For the first 6 months or so, we all called it coronavirus. Why did that change? We just started accepting calling it COVID. But sooner or later, that goes away and the home puns aren't as important anymore. You could do a South American save. I'm not heading anywhere near the Americas again for a while after what Chivas did to me. Lemon Freak, thank you very much for the gifted sub.
Lemon Freak 135 gifted a tier 1 sub to Pump 3 Stiff.
I think we're going to let Cole Stars leave because we could use the money and hopefully bring in somebody better. This year's home's been really fun. I'm enjoying the youth save. Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying it. You got a scientific name, that's right. It had a scientific name at the start. It was always COVID-19. But we just didn't call it that for ages. Here we go then. This World Cup has messed up this fixture list massively. That all looks acceptable. Come on, boys. Come on now. Brazil is much different than Mexico, and South American FM is the best FM. Never, in all my years playing Football Manager, I've never played in South America. So maybe one day. It won't be this year now. The thing that worries me about doing somewhere like Brazil, there's two things that worry me. Firstly, it's just like screaming in capital letters at Sports Interactive, please don't notice me or work with me or send me free stuff, or, you know, you might as well manage Manchester United if you're going to go to Brazil. So there's that. But then there's also the fact that isn't there like 80 games a season in Brazil, and all you do is constantly sell your best players to Europe. Oh, that's a tight angle to score from. That's annoying. You played in Peru or Chile in a 24-hour stream. Did I? I don't remember. That was terrifying. I turned on my PC. The stream auto-played when I couldn't see it on my screen, so I just had Kev going do-do-do-do in my headset. That sounds brilliant. In my home save, in the second season, I got under 23s with mainly National League and National League North-South players, and first team with mainly League 2 and above players. If they get good, awesome. Can get English wonder kids if you go to Brazil. Explain. Oh. 100 1 year. What? And you do have to sell selectively, like Apollon. Yeah. I don't like the idea of having my team ripped apart constantly, although I guess it didn't work out too badly at Apollon. But the thing is, with Apollon, because we were still playing in the Champions League, eventually we got big enough to not have to sell anymore. Not that you'd know it from the way that team was ripped apart as soon as I left. But yeah, I just think the number of games in South America really puts me off. I don't want to be doing 15 episodes a season, but at the same time, I'm not playing 12 matches between an episode because I just don't have time for that. I have time for like 6 to 8 games between episodes, absolute max. The Apollon save pushed things a little bit further than I would normally want to push them, because I was playing that spell every year in Apollon from finishing the Champions League group to getting through to the Champions League knockout stages where I didn't show you anything. They were touch and go sometimes, whether those videos were getting made in time. Right, we are undoing all the good work we did against TNS by letting one man who used to be in EastEnders beat us. What's my favourite player in real life? George Boyd. Get Marcus Day on again. He never lets us down. Come on! Do a football! Darling's coming on. Well, we don't... The one problem with this squad, because we've done it so tightly targeted around this system, we don't have any wide players to come on and do a plan B. There is no plan B here because we don't have any wingers at the club. So all we can really do is occasionally switch to a 4-3-3, a narrow 4-3-3, or... Yeah, that's about it. Well, this has been a couple of games of ups and downs, hasn't it? Some spare time, which one should I watch? Apollon or the previous home? I would watch Apollon. I think Apollon's probably the best series I've done. Plus, it's... I guess, ideally, you'd watch them both. You'd go home, then Apollon, then back to this home. Because that way you get the full Wearmouth arc. Because Mrs. Wearmouth was originally in the original home. Although she didn't have a speaking part. She was just referred to. And then she was the owner of Apollon. And then she came back to home. So I guess you should probably watch the original home first, actually. I've changed my mind. Is this league in the base FM game? Yes, it is. Well, that was a frustrating result. We are still in a strong position We're 3 points behind TNS with a game in hand, but they do have a better goal difference than us. It's made it a little more complicated than it was before. But this run of games is a nightmare. Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. In fact, it's done that twice. So Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And we're just having to rotate loads. Any more thoughts or updates on Born in the USA? The more I think about it, the more it's going to be on a custom database. And it's going to be a rejigged US or even a rejigged North American football structure, with Bourne starting at the bottom and doing a road to glory kind of thing. Because as much as it would be amusing for 3 videos to watch me not understand MLS, I think that gets old fast. And I think the other disadvantage of the MLS, it's the exact same problem we had with Chivas, in that if we are good immediately, we'll win it in the first season, and it's like, well, is the series over now? What do we do? No one cares about the North American Champions League. So it could be a 1-season save. Whereas by doing a custom database and having however many tiers, 5, 6, 7 tiers, regionalized, I don't know if such a database exists or if I'll have to get somebody to make one for me, and sticking Bourne at the bottom of that pyramid, I think works. Posh have scored, I think. That's not come through on my watch it. It's literally just come through now. Where's Rob? Get Rob in here. He was enjoying himself earlier. I talked to Dr. Benji. He tried that, did he? Oh, of course, his Central Park thing. Or maybe I can't do that then if he's already done it. I'll make sure in my first episode I'm wearing my Always Original t-shirt. Because didn't we find a place called Bourne in America? I'm sure we did. So we could do a new club. Bourne, Massachusetts. So the club would be based in Bourne, Massachusetts. But would have the same badge that we had made. Look, even their town crest isn't a million miles away from the badge we had made for Bourne last year. So we could, they are a town. So we could do Bourne Town. It could be exactly the same. Same badge, new shirts, new club in like tier 6 or 7 of a US league structure. I think it would be cool. Joe Ward for Posh. Beautiful. Near Boston as well. Yeah, exactly. I think it has the potential to be pretty cool. Especially if we make sure... Because I don't know... I haven't done enough research on this. We're a long way away from doing it. But I don't know how many... Like, is there a... Do they have semi-pro football teams in the US? Or is that not really a thing? Because if I've got to make up a load of teams, you can be damn sure that I'm going to be looking at every team that shares a name with an English team. So there's going to be a Boston United in the US league structure. If I have to make teams up. There are semi-pro teams, okay. Fabio Sol wants to be playing more games. Well, you know what, Fabio? What do you want me to do about that? Maybe if you were better at football, you'd play a few more games. I think I've just promised to play him because I wasn't really reading properly. There's a Manchester and a Birmingham in the USA. See, that's awesome. Have I used custom databases before? To a point. I mean, the home database is a custom database. But it's not massively customized. I certainly won't be the one doing the database editing. I'll be straight in the DMs of the FM editor saying, Steve, this is what I want. Can you do it for me? Somebody did an experiment on an 8-9 tier USA database last year. So that would be perfect. FM Scout has a USA level 10 database done by Dark Horse. I'm not familiar with who Dark Horse is. Are they likely to want to work with me? Who are they? Because I'd want it to be regionalised as well, the further down you go. Because it won't make any sense at all to have little old Bourne in Massachusetts travelling down to, I don't know if we include Mexico or not, but travelling down to California. That makes no sense as a little semi-pro team. Boston City FC are in the 4th tier of US football, and FC Boston are in the top amateur league according to Wikipedia. Nice. Yeah, this is going to be fun. But like I say, I'm going to need someone to build the database for me. You say that, but there are semi-pro sports leagues all over the US that travel across the country. It's nuts, but they do it. Yeah, but we ain't going to do it. Because it's mad. Dun, dun, dun. I'm keen for any of these players to leave if they want to leave. Oh, you terrified me. I just jumped out of my skin. Knock. We need to get a doorbell. Anna's here, everybody.
I can't come in.
Are you naked?
I'm in my uniform.
Naked Anna's... Oh, she's wearing her work clothes. She's in full spy regalia at the moment.
But I wasn't sleeping.
She wasn't. So you did sleep then?
I wasn't sleeping.
Anna's been sleeping on a big beanbag on the living room floor for the last 2 hours.
I wasn't sleeping.
The fact that you're saying I wasn't sleeping over and over again confirms you were definitely sleeping.
I was not sleeping.
Okay.
Resting my eyes.
Resting your eyes while snoring.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Just checked Dr. Benji's channel. His American save was FM19 and the playlist only has 21 episodes. Yeah, because that's when his computer blew up, wasn't it? And he lost the save. I remember now. Have a look at the tweet I did. I will have a look at it after the stream, unless it's particularly pertinent to the current discussion. That was Ben's issue. His Central Park team had some Mexican teams in his league. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Can you get promoted or relegated in the USA leagues? Doesn't matter, because we're going to do a custom database where you will be able to. Who snores worse, Anna or Dave? They're both pretty loud. Neither of them are as loud as me, though. So I'm not really allowed to pick on either of them because I snore louder than both of them combined. Even if you hooked them up to a PA system. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, certainly I think if I'm throwing loads of time and effort and money maybe at it to make a full-on fancy custom thing, I think it's almost certainly going to be on YouTube. And then we'll do the Sweden save probably on YouTube as well. Well, that might end up on Twitch. It depends. It's always impossible to know. I've got to have like the next 2 or 3 saves in my mind, but you never know exactly when a save is going to finish. So non-League to Legend could be done within 2 seasons, potentially. Or it could go on for another 10. There's no way of knowing. Home, we know, is going to be at least another 7 or 8 seasons at least, probably longer. So Home's got, if we talk about doing a season every sort of week and a half, Home's got at least 4 months, probably 5 or 6 months left in it, which then takes us through to that time of the year around August time, when I know from Chivas last year I ain't starting a new series in August. So it might be that there's only one more series on YouTube this year, and it'll probably be Born. How do I think Peterborough's season is going, Kev? It's going all right. We're going to get promoted. That's all good. Untitled Legend, will I go abroad again? If I get offered a job, yeah. What I am going to do this year, though, is be really firm about the save ends when we win the Champions League thing. The last few times where we've done the silly Expedition of Gold thing, you watch the viewers disappear. So the moment the Champions League is won, that's the last episode. Right, how's everyone else doing? This isn't our game in hand, but Barry seemed to have played their game in hand. Okay. Why is my... Hold the phone. My shortcut on my mouse seems to have stopped working. Why is Football Manager not on there anymore? I mean, Football Manager was literally on... It was working earlier in the stream. And now it's working again, even though it wasn't on the list. I don't understand what's going on there. How odd. Am I going to do my team tournament this year? Yes. Do I do challenges? Do my rivals challenge? I don't know what your rivals challenge is. And I don't really do challenges that other people have come up with, because I like to fully own everything that I do. So I wouldn't want to do something based on something someone else has done. It's very tricky when I'm sat here as a business making money out of stuff, working on something that was originally someone else's idea, because although it's not something that's ever been tested in court, if I was to do, I don't know, I don't even know if this still exists, but if I was to do a whole YouTube series on the Dafuge challenge, for example, and you know, old Dafuge could come out and say, well, where's my share of this? This is my idea you're making money off of here. So I tend to make sure anything I do is completely mine. Who's Dafuge? He used to, I don't know if he's still on the forums. He used to do a challenge every year on the SI forums. That involved, I can't even remember the exact rules of it, but it was certainly a big thing on the forums like 10 years ago. It might not even exist anymore. But he was like the king of the challenge forum on the Sports Interactive website. He is still there. There you go. Every now and again, I drop a name like that to remind you all that I've been around forever. So I won't do a 5 years in the future. Oh, what, for non-League to Legend? There'll be a 5 years in the future. I mean, I'll win the Champions League and retire, and then we'll do the 5 years in the future, and then that'll be it. There's not going to be any extending the save this year. Do I not get bored managing in England most of the time? No. Because Football Manager is awesome and it's impossible to get bored playing it. I've been playing it pretty much every day for more than 25 years now. And I haven't even started to get bored yet. So I think this is just one of my... most of you probably know I'm going through the diagnosis process for autism. I imagine this is just my obsession that I'm just not going to get bored with ever. It's just what I do. Love it. I was going to say I would spend all day playing it. I do these days. But even if I wasn't doing it as a job, I used to come home from work and play it. I used to take my laptop to work and play it. I used to play it all weekend. It's just, this is what I do. I play Football Manager. I'm utterly obsessed with the thing. And thankfully I found a way for that not to ruin my life. Bulgarian, thank you very much for the sub. Was the Diffuse Challenge where you took over a newly promoted team into the lowest level after holidaying a year? Yes. And you were only allowed to manage that team. You weren't allowed to take international jobs. You weren't allowed to move teams. There was a few other rules to it as well, I think. But yeah, if I did that on YouTube, then that's not my idea, is it? So I can't really go and do it. Right. We're just accepting offers for all this. Like, Bangor are the other full-time team, are they? I mean, they're having a ropey old season. No, they actually need... This is our game in hand. They need to beat it. No, they don't actually need to beat us. They've already qualified for the Champions Group. But we have been comfortably better than them this year. What was my first FMCM game? Championship Manager 2. I think it was 1994, but I'd been playing other management games before then. So Premier Manager, I think, was before that. Kenny Dalglish Soccer Manager on the Spectrum in the late 80s. I put hundreds of hours of time into. Pretty much as soon as I was old enough to use a computer, I was playing football management games of some kind or another. Aaron Drew wants to start more games. He's not gonna. He's not good enough to start more games. So can we just calm him down and maybe ship him out? You're not gonna start more games. I'm your manager. What I say goes. Exactly. What are the rules on YouTube? What action could you take if someone copied nothing to legend? I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be a YouTube rule thing. It would be like any other intellectual property infringement. I'd need to go through a court, and it would come under trademark infringement. I doubt I would, because I think the way I look at it, if someone bigger than me does non-lethal legend, that's going to help the term non-lethal legend in search. That's going to help me. If someone smaller than me does non-lethal legend, they're not going to get above me in search, so it's irrelevant to me. So I don't think it would actually be that big a deal if somebody did it. But that's just my thought process on it. If I went out and started a glory hunter tomorrow, and I know Ben would also not sue me, but if I started glory hunter tomorrow, he might say, well, that's mine. I'm going to sue you. LMA Manager. I never played LMA Manager because I was never a PlayStation guy. Is the name LOLLUJO trademarked? It's an unregistered trademark, so I've not actually registered it, but I don't need to register it because it's clearly mine. So if someone decided to use it, then I could enforce an unregistered trademark. I looked into the legality of it. I could spend £300 on registering the trademark, but there's no reason to, because I would win if someone just started calling themselves LOLLUJO. Have I trademarked non-lethal legend? No, but again, exactly the same situation. I can clearly prove that it was my idea, my concept. I was doing it before anybody else. So if somebody decided to use it and I really wanted to be a wang, I could enforce it as an unregistered trademark. That's a lovely goal from Marcus Day. Has anyone over at YouTube asked me to do... Has anyone, any of the other YouTubers asked me to do a non-lethal legend? No. Don't know if you can trademark challenge names for video games. It depends if you define it as a challenge name for a video game or if you define it as a brand that I use as part of my business. Non-lethal legend is a brand. It has a logo. I sell merchandise with non-lethal legend on as a branded item. Non-League to Legend is an important brand as part of my business. So it's not the challenge name for a video game. It's the fact that it's a brand that I own and use to make my money. Surprised you've not done Road to Glory save in Spain or other countries. I'm not that into managing in countries outside of England usually. I'm trying to do more of it because although I would never get bored just managing in England over and over and over again, I do pay attention to the comments section and know that sometimes it gets a bit much and you need me to step outside of the comfort zone a little bit. But I think a road, just doing a Road to Glory, moving it to Spain or Italy is just like, it's just the same thing as doing it in England. Whereas doing it in Greece, like we did last year, has that whole other element of it, of all you can win the league in Greece and still not be good enough to get into the Champions League. So I think that gave it a more interesting twist. Have I trademarked Little Jack and Little Clates? I should. What does LOLLUJO mean? Handsome man with beard. Could anyone copy it with a different name? Well, yeah, because it's the brand that is the trademark. I mean, like a few of you have already said, Park to Prem and Non-League to Legend are basically the same. They're very similar rules. But neither me or Jack could sue the other one because that's not the part of it that would be protected under trademark law. It's the brand Non-League to Legend, the brand Park to Prem that would be covered. What about the challenge where you win the Champions League in every region? That could be good. People always think that could be good, and I imagine playing through a Pentagon challenge would be fun, but actually watching it, it's really boring because the way it goes is it's just a normal Football Manager save wherever your first club is, and then every other club from then on, you just go to the best club in that continent and win it within a year or two because you've got a fantastic reputation from that first club. So it becomes pretty boring. Is there anyone you've not managed an FM in England, either on YouTube or for personal enjoyment? Loads of clubs, I imagine. I don't even remember everybody I've managed. I'm trying to think of an example of a club I've never managed. I don't think I've ever managed Newcastle. I don't think I've ever managed Lincoln. This is going to be annoying if it goes in. Thankfully it didn't. Have I thought about doing a reverse Non-League to Legend? Yeah, that wouldn't work, would it? It just involved getting sacked a lot. Yeah, I've never managed Basingstoke. Are there any clubs that I'd refuse to manage? Only Rangers and Celtic. They're the only two I'd completely refuse to manage. Man United I've managed, yeah. I've managed Man United a few times. They were in last year's Non-League to Legend. They were last year's beta teams. So I managed them twice last year. Even on YouTube or Twitch save, no Rangers or Celtic. No, I've never had any desire to manage in Scotland. There you go. We are preparing for the next stage after the split. We're in the Championship Conference. Beautiful. So we've ended Bangor, Banger, don't know how you say that. We've ended their unbeaten run as well. We're just destroying everybody's unbeaten teams. What a name that is, Brimbo. That's a great name. I want to live in Brimbo. Would you try to lose on purpose while managing Spurs? No. I've managed Spurs loads. I've probably managed Spurs more times than any club other than Posh. Maybe Ipswich would be up there as a team I've managed a lot. Southend I've managed a lot, it seems. Boston and Corby I've managed more. I've managed them loads offline. Boston, Corby, Kettering. These are the teams I used to start with every year in Non-League to Legend before it was a YouTube thing, when it was just the way I played the game for 10 years. Yeah, probably Posh I've managed more. I manage Posh at least once a year. Boston, Corby, Kettering just got rotated around for years. And then you've probably got the likes of Tottenham, Ipswich, Southend that have managed, Bristol Rovers that have managed multiple times in non-league to legend. Big up Southend. Can you take us over in real life? If they want me, they know where to find me. It's Bangor. Okay. I'll try and remember that. Boys and girls, I'm going to have to go and fetch a beverage in a second. I forgot to bring a can of Coke out and my voice is already starting to go and I finished my coffee. So I'm going to use my very rarely used be right back screen in a second. I promise I will be right back. Please don't desert me. But if I don't get a drink, I'm officially going to die of thirst. So I am going to BRB. Dave just knocked something down. He knocked Nick Jackson down. Hold on. You can't see me. Dave knocked Nick Jackson off my pile. One of two Nick Jacksons I own. Right. Here we go. Everyone disconnect when he gets back. That wouldn't faze me. We're playing Brimbo. So, let's get into Brimbo. Oh, I ran up the stairs. I'm out of breath now. I really need to get some exercise. I need a mini fridge in the office. I'd just forget to fill it up. You know what I'm like. Pump those fists. Right, where's my beverage? No, this team's not in our league. This is a Welsh Cup game. I've got no room to put a mini fridge in here. I've got to figure out where I'm going to put AC when we get to the summer. Because I am going to need air conditioning in here. It's hot now. And it is 0 degrees outside. The radiator's turned off. I've got a fan on. As soon as it gets to like March. New mic picking up the heavy breathing. Oh no. Let's move it away a little bit. Yeah, as soon as it gets to like March, I'm going to need air conditioning in here. And I have no idea how I'm going to fit it in. It's probably going to have to go here somewhere, next to the radiator, hose up out the window. Fist pumping is exercise. Yeah. Am I watching AEW this week? I watch AEW every week. Love AEW. Why don't I look for jobs during the season? Because I don't want to leave at the moment. If we were having a bad season, I would, but we could win the Welsh League here. That might actually get me another job. Don't I have a heat pump in there? Doesn't... What is a heat pump? Don't even know what a heat pump is. What's my reason for not wanting to manage Rangers or Celtic? Because people would ruin me. Jack, welcome to... hold on, Jack's in. Get little Jack out. Everyone who's been watching Big Jack, hope you've enjoyed your time with Big Jack. Now you can enjoy some time with Little Jack. Say hello, Little Jack. Little Jack's waving. Lovely stuff. How are you all doing? How are you doing, Jack? Have you had an enjoyable evening? Little Jack's going to sit with me now for the rest of the game against Brimbo. I'm just going to hold him around like this. That's it. But yeah, put your hand on my hand, Little Jack. I've never seen Little Jack before. It's worse than I imagined. Oh, it's your first time seeing Little Jack. He's lovely, isn't he? Hello, I'm Little Jack. That's how he talks. I'm Little Jack. Just what Jack came here for. My day was great until now. How can your day not be great? You got to see little Jack. Oh dear. How are we not beating Brimbo? Jack's turned up and all form's gone out the window. Connection? I think there probably is. Same smile. And in my defense, I never said he looks like Jack. It's just little Jack. Dun, dun, dun. Come on, little Jack, let's dance. At least you're not all furry like little Clates. Because this is little Clates and he just sheds fur everywhere. But little Jack is safe to be on my clothes without shedding. Oh, Charlie Ridge, what are you doing to me? Little Jack is cuter than Jack. Little do you know, these are actually Jack's real baby teeth that I got off of the Tooth Fairy to make into this model of him. What about Little Zealand? Here's Little Zealand. Hold on. What do you have to say, Zealand? Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Right, we need to make some substitutions. Da, da, da. After the stream showdown, I had a nightmare involving little Clates. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. Blame Big Clates. Come on. We're shuffling. I want to get Marcus Day on. How are we not winning against this shower? We're going 3 up top, if I can learn the buttons. Right, let's just shuffle this around a little bit. We're going to make him do that. He can do this. And then what do you want to be when you grow up? Williams, whatever you... Do you have a first name Williams? You probably don't. You're just Williams. What do you want, Williams? You can be a PF as well. And then we probably need to go attacking. We've been doing so well, and now it's all falling apart. Do we have a little second yellow card? I've got like 20 of these, so I'll decide which one's little second yellow card when the time comes, if I ever need to intimidate him with something. Da, da, da. What league are we in? Oh, is Wooly Williams playing for this lot? He's not, is he? Am I watching the NASCAR race on Sunday? Do I look Spanish to you? What is this? Why would I be watching NASCAR? Is that the one where they just drive around and around in the big circle? Because we've got that here. It's called roundabouts. I could go and stand in Marks and Spencer's car park and have about as much fun as I would have watching NASCAR. You could print off the logos and I could. That would justify the fact I now have a printer that I've used once. And that was to print an address label. I need to justify having a printer. In case the tax man says, it looks like you bought a printer this year. Was that really important for your work? Oh yeah, really important. I printed an envelope once. But now if I'm printing props, we're sorted. Can the new home shirts have Do I Look Spanish inside the collar? Maybe they could. Maybe they'd be better on the Born in the USA shirts. Because there's people there what speak Spanish. You should really print records to have a hard... Oh, no! Pack it in with the print records! Why on earth would I need a hard copy of my files? I'm not going to ever be investigated by a caveman. Oh. Because the magic of having stuff stored on the cloud and stored remotely is if I need hard copies, I can use the printer, print the hard copies out. It's brilliant. Hard copies indeed. Dun, 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 dun. Tell the taxman you're saving the printer for more pressing matters. I feel like that was a joke that I didn't get. Otherwise, I don't understand it. Right, we're going to put Little Jack down now. Because I don't really want to just sit here holding Little Jack. Print prop money for the showdown. That's a good idea. We need a count of how many times Kev calls me a caveman. Stop saying caveman things then. Oh dear. let's face it, the Inland Revenue wouldn't be able to find me because I won't answer my phone when they ring. I'll insist they text me. I won't answer the phone. Right, do we want to sign this guy called Reese Bassett? Based on the fact that he's got a great name. So he's available... Hold on. So he was out of... Oh, he's available... No. How can we sign him? Can we do pre-contracts from other Welsh clubs? I didn't know we could do that. I mean, we can't get him. Interesting. We'll keep scouting him. Is it only in England you can't do the Bosman stuff early then? What league and team are we at? We are at Llanelli in the Welsh Premier League. Bum, 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 bum. Stop bumming, Kev. Sorry. Did I see the EFL wage cap had been withdrawn? I heard it on the radio driving Anna home from work. And now my question is, well, two questions. One, as a real football fan, that's really handy just after the transfer window, after we've all had to follow it, after we had to release George Boyd because we couldn't fit him into the squad. That's, yeah, real handy to go back on that now and not do it while the transfer window's still open so we could, you know, sign some players. Real handy. But then I'm thinking, I guess that's going to need to be put in the FM data update that will be due out next month. And I wonder how they're going to handle it, whether they just remove it completely or whether they have it so that it disappears after a year, because that's effectively what we've had it for. We've had it for a year. So I'm interested to see how FM handles it. Are we getting the band back together? Come on, Martel, and you come. See, he's outside of our scouting range, so he'd never come up on a scout report. That's why this recruitment meeting is awesome. I would love to have Martel Taylor-Crossdale come and live with us in Wales. George Glendon's someone we've had before as well. I think he's way back from the Nuneaton days we had George Glendon. Will Woody. Now, I've made that joke before, so we must have had him somewhere as well. The problem is we can't sign any of these until we bin some players off, and there seems to be a few of them who are a bit reluctant to get the hell out of my football club. So we might have to offer some players out to make room for some of these players that we want to bring in. H. Robinson, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. How are we doing, finance? Oh dear. How on earth has that happened? Don't even understand how that's happened. We've got players who we want rid of, though. So Sam French can leave. So get rid of him. Aaron Drew can leave. Why are they just disappearing? Is that making them happy, or are they just being released? Fabio Sol can leave. Mark Howarth can stick around because he'll actually play. Okay. Taylor Crossdale, that was quite a long time ago. Didn't we have Taylor Crossdale at Kettering this year as well? I'm sure we had him this year, or recently anyway. There's a discussion about driving with the radio on, and I want to know what the original statement was. Because I can hear someone saying, so if you're driving, you don't have the radio on. But what is that in response to? I need to radio like a caveman. Oh, what, in the car? Yeah, I listen to the radio in the car. It's digital radio. I'm not listening to FM radio like a caveman. But it's only a short trip. I'm not going to bother putting Spotify on. It's too much hassle. And my Spotify's been ruined by streaming now. All my Spotify is copyright-free music because I didn't think to do it on a separate Spotify login. So yeah, Spotify is dead to me. So I'm basically given up on music. So now I just listen to the radio. But Kev listens to Radio 4. I listen to Radio X most of the time. Mainly in the mornings because Chris Moyles is still awesome. And in the evening, Johnny Vaughan's not awesome, but it's on and I can't be bothered to find another station that I'd like in the evenings. Will would he? Taylor Crossdale. Taylor Crossdale up front with Ridge could be a lot of fun. I don't think we're going to be able to afford him. But that could be an awful lot of fun. Does my car have a CD player? You know what? I genuinely don't know. I've not... Probably? Maybe? I don't know. Do cars have CD players these days? I usually just use Apple CarPlay if I want to listen to something that's not the radio. I genuinely don't know if it has a CD player. It feels like a question a caveman would ask. You might as well be asking if you could put cassettes in it. Where do I put the CDs in my car? All right, Grandad, plug your phone in. And then next grandson, all right, Grandad, use Bluetooth. Plug your phone in. Do I look Spanish to you? I've not had a CD player in the last 2, maybe 3 cars. Yeah, like I say, I'm trying to picture the console now and I can't imagine where a CD player would be, but there's a chance it does have one. But like I say, I don't own a CD. Never mind looking for a CD player in my car. Did old cars have floppy drives? I'd like to think so. Do you remember when the only way to listen to your iPod in the car is to get one of those things you plugged into the cassette? If you're young, you don't remember this. We're probably going back about 15 years. It would be a cassette-shaped thing with a wire coming out the back of it. And you'd plug it into the cassette hole in your car radio and then plug that into the headphone jack on your iPod. And then you could play your music through the cassette thing. They were brilliant. I felt so fancy when I got one of them. Like, I can listen to my iPod in the car. This is amazing. And now I live in a world where I can just play it off my phone. Magical. Oh yeah, they sounded awful. But it didn't matter how they sounded. It was just the excitement that we could listen to our iPods in the car. In fact, even before I had my iPod and I had a Creative Zen Micro, because the Creative Zen Micro was the only way to get, I think it was called Napster on the go or something. So this wasn't original pirate Napster. This was when Napster relaunched and basically launched Spotify before anyone was ready for Spotify. So I think you paid like $7.99 a month to be able to download unlimited music off of Napster, but you could only play it back on certain devices, one of which was the Creative Zen Micro. So I bought one of those and had that plugged in the car, and then when that Napster service died, that's when I got an iPod. We are going back to like 2002, I think. That's just how old I am. We can't sign any of these players we just brought in on trial because they all want too much money and we have none, which is very sad. I had one of those tape things, but for CDs. What, like you plugged it into a CD player, or you had something you plugged into the CD player to play an iPod? I had one of those FM converters. Oh yeah, I had an FM converter as well. The sound quality in them was better than on the tape thing, but it was still pretty poor. And sometimes you'd just be driving along, and if you drove past an actual FM antenna, the signal would just die, and you'd be like listening to some terrible local radio for 10 miles, and then suddenly your iPod would come back in again. I still have an FM converter. That's amazing. CD player plugged into the tape deck in the car. You're obviously a little older than me then, because by the time I had a car, I had an MP3 player. No CarPlay in a 14-year-old Swift. That's very sad. local radio is great in America. I bet it's not. I bet it has adverts on. And that's what's terrible about local radio. In fact, you have to put up with adverts. Kev, I'm old enough that my first car had a working 8-track player. Wow. I love the fact that some of you are older than I am. Here up, thank you very much for the sub. Beautiful stuff. Are we trying to get... Is Sam French one of the ones we're trying to get rid of? He is. So let's just accept every offer for him. Living the 21-year-old life to the max, Kev. It was either that or Classic FM. That's brilliant. Walkmans were better than Discmans. I don't think I ever had either. I wasn't fancy enough to have a Sony product as a kid. I had one. I remember my only port. I never really got on. I used to really enjoy my knockoff Walkman, whatever it was. I don't remember what brand it was. That was cool. But I never really had a lot of CDs. Because by the time I was earning my own money, MP3s were kind of coming in. So I would get like a few CDs for Christmas when I was younger. But I didn't like go and spend my paper round money on CDs because I needed comic books and video games and I had to prioritize. And by the time I had a job, it was 1998. And I think MP3s and Napster was just happening the first time around. I think I probably had an MP3 player by 99, 2000. So I never had a lot of CDs. I do remember getting one portable CD player that I took on a school trip and tried to listen to it on the bus on this school trip. And it was such a rubbish CD player that every time the bus shook a little bit, the song would skip. And I had those little plug-in speakers and we were trying to listen to it and it was unlistenable, but we still thought it was so cool. But then eventually we gave up and just got back to playing on our Game Boys. Oh, those were the days. My first car didn't have a tape deck, just a long wave and a medium wave radio. Yeah, my the car I learnt to drive in was like that. I learnt to drive in my mum's like 1992 Nissan Micra, and we had to listen to Atlantic 252 on long wave because it was the only half decent radio station. Why is Billy Collins upset that his backup goalkeeper has been sold? That doesn't make a lot of sense. What also doesn't make a lot of sense is that he went to Grimsby and he's now a League One player on £475 a week. Jeepers creepers. Can we afford Taylor Crossdale now? Get rid of a goalkeeper and try and sign yet another striker. No, because I've already upset him. Should we try and bring in a better goalkeeper then? Now Collins is going to be really upset when he realises what I'm up to. We've already got the best goalkeeper in Wales and we're trying to upgrade him. We're getting ready for Europe. Hopefully that's chilled him out a little bit. It'll do. When I went on field trips, we couldn't bring electronics on the bus. We actually had to read physical books silently on the bus. I would have vomited all over everything if I had to read on a bus. I learned to drive in a Range Rover. Ooh, very fancy. ...1998, all I was worried about was if Coventry City were going to survive another season in the Premier League. I mean, were you ever really worried at that point? They were the only team that had never been relegated, weren't they? Them and Arsenal. Was that the statistic? Well, they hadn't been relegated in like 30 years or something. You technically didn't have to read, you just couldn't talk. I'm learning a lot about why you are the way you are. How can they take you on a trip and not even let you talk on the bus? That's insane. ...1988 Premier League didn't exist, it was 1992. That's true. We were talking about 98, weren't we? My elementary and middle school years weren't good to me, let's just say that. Nice. 98, Forest made it back to the Premier League, all downhill from there. Yeah. I've won Manager of the Month. Hooray! This is true. 34 years in the top flight, and one was one of the founding members of the Premier League in February '92. Lovely, lovely, lovely. On buses I can read, but in a car there's no chance. If I'm a passenger on any kind of motor vehicle, then I'll throw up. I can't cope with buses. I used to have to take travel sickness pills to get the bus 20 minutes into Peterborough. That's why I've not been on a bus in about 20 years. Coaches, nightmare. Can't do it. Can't do any of that. Right, he's gone out on loan. We've got our new goalkeeper coming in. Beautiful. He's not going out on loan. If he leaves, he's going to be leaving permanently. And that goes for all of these. We're on a small squad with no budget. We're not loaning players out. But we do now have the new best goalkeeper in the Welsh Premier League. Which is beautiful. Hopefully he'll also be tight buddies with Collins. Is he actually better than him? He is. So he should go straight into the Dream 11. I think Collins was already in the Dream 11. He's not. Who is Rocco Reese? Of course he's at TNS. Of course he's at TNS. They're all at TNS. Ridiculous. Apart from Ridge. Ridge is the only one we've got in there. And everyone else is TNS. You're not going on loan. Apparently we're making an offer for Jordan Cranston. I mean, he's not even a little bit scouted. I'm just going to trust that Spencer Bowen. Let's see what you did there, Spencer. I'm going to see if he... we'll just trust his judgment. We'll never trust his judgment again. What a numbskull. What a numbskull. There we go. Silent lunch is also a popular form of collective punishment. Collective punishment is dumb. It's dumb. Spencer Bowen from Hashtag United. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly who that is. Sol we just offered out, didn't we? So we will let him go. Scott Walker can go as well. Will they actually leave this time, do we think? Am I going to answer my YouTube comments while Anna is driving once she learns? No, because I can't be a passenger in a car. I'll throw up. When Anna learns to drive, that'll just be for Anna to drive. She'll never drive me anywhere. I can't be a passenger in a car. It just makes me really ill. It's one of the reasons that I kind of just stopped drinking, because I was always the designated driver, because I could never drink anyway, because I was always the driver, because I couldn't be a passenger. Right. That is one of the big transfers. I guess it's because we actually got cash money funds for him. £350. Well, I never did. Arsenal bribed their way into the First Division after the First World War and have not been relegated since. Nice. Good work, Arsenal. Money talks. Everybody's got a price. No drinking. How have I dealt with lockdown? By staying sober. I never enjoyed drinking. So I just don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk alcohol for like 3 or 4 years now. Don't even remember how long it's been. I remember I'm working most evenings as well. When would I drink? Because I wouldn't ever stream whilst drinking, because I think that's... I mean, it attracts the wrong crowd, I think. If you get drunk on a stream, then that's just going to be people... I don't want a load of laddie lads here laughing at how drunk he is. Oh, look, he's hammered. He's hammered. Well, yeah, go watch someone else then, if that's what you like. Goodness me. So because I'm streaming most nights, or doing the podcast when I'm not streaming, I have one night a week where I'm not doing some kind of work. I'm just not going to drink then. And I didn't enjoy drinking anyway, so I just don't drink. Did I have to redo my hair today? No, this is still fluffy hair from this morning. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know. And there you go, it's fluffy hair. It doesn't look as bad as the day's gone on. What podcast? What platform? Someone linked to the podcast. It's on anywhere you get podcasts from. It's the most successful, the most popular independent gaming podcast in UK iTunes history. I think we're 14th or 15th all-time most downloaded gaming podcast. And what is this? And the only ones that are above us are the ones that are owned by big companies. So we're the top independent. And it's called the Mature Gamer Podcast. If you search for Mature Gamer Podcast or MGP, wherever you get your podcasts from, then you'll find it and you'll enjoy it. And now we're playing against TNS. That moment when you realise after listening to Gorillaz for over 20 years, the lead singer is the same lead singer of Blur. How do you not know that? Even I know that. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. The really alarming thing for me is that Damon Albarn is like 50 years old now, probably. I mean, the first Blur album was, 91? So how long ago is that? Is that 30 years ago? So he must be, if he's not in his 50s already, he must be pretty close. He's 53 next month. That's monstrous. I can't even cope with that. He can't be that old. Oh, dear me. Oh, my word. Oh, dear. Blur's first album was indeed 1991. See, Kev knows. Time is a thing. No one beats the hourglass. Yeah. Oh, my word. And we're losing against TNS to top it all off as well. Just discovered one of my childhood heroes is like granddad age. And that album came out 30 years ago. Oh, God. And now we're losing against our title rivals too. Oh, dear. Well, that's left me on a bit of a downer now. I need to hug Little Jack to make myself feel better. Blur or Gorillaz? Blur, obviously, better than Gorillaz. Gorillaz was a fun little side project. Blur are like all-time greats. What episode should I start MGP with? The most recent one, I guess. And if you like it, you can go back a bit. It's been going nearly 10 years. You don't want to start from the beginning. I mean, you might want to start from the beginning, but it's been going a long time. Right, we go and attack him. We'll be happy with a draw in this one. We're away from home. If we can find a way to draw, that'll be fine. And then we'll just beat him at home, and that'll be enough to win the league. Charlie Ridge. Goal number 34. Beautiful. That's why Gorillaz to this day make groundbreaking, critically acclaimed albums while nobody cares about Blur anymore. Well, Blur haven't released a record in 20 years. Blur are like genuine top 5 all-time bands. Some people. Nobody cares about Blur. I can't believe you just said that. I want to time you out. Nobody cares about Blur anymore. Morons might not care about Blur anymore. I'm genuinely upset. Oh, my word. I need to have a lie down after that. You lot need to get older. Go and experience the 90s. And then tell me you don't care about Blur. Blur released an album about... Yeah, but who cares? Any band that's been around a long time, no one cares about their new trash. I stopped listening to Radiohead after OK Computer because it all got a bit rubbish on Kid A. You judge a band by their first album or two, not by all the nonsense they released for the next 30 years. You listen to those first couple of Blur albums. That's all you need. Oh... The Universal by Blur was the first single I ever bought for 99p in Boots. And explain Iron Maiden. I've never liked a single song they've done and couldn't name an album they've done. Don't like hair music. That's offended a lot of the people who like their hair metal. Don't like any of that. Not interested. Iron Maiden is not hair metal. They've got silly hair and they make bad songs. That's all I need to know. I'm sat here now and I'm trying to think of an Iron Maiden song and I genuinely can't think of one to be able to explain why I don't like it. I just know I've never been interested and it's boring. It's just boring. Not interested. Oh dear. The Trooper is a belter. You could be saying anything there. Don't know what the Trooper is. Can we get a poll on Blur, see whether people like them or not? I don't need to see how wrong you all are about something. I'll tell you what. This is... we'll do it on the vlog channel on the community page. Get some engagement over there. This will really confuse the vlog viewers. So, we're going to YouTube. I'm not doing a poll here. I want spiffing Brit engagement. Hold on. How do I get to the community page? Do I like Muse? I do. I've seen Muse more times than any other band in history. Don't talk, Kev. So, community page. Blur. This is going to confuse so many people. But that's good, because they'll say, what? In the comments, and that's engagement too. Yes? No. That's the poll. That's all I want to know. Blur, yes or no? And we'll revisit that in a little while. You have to go to the vlog channel now. Am I watching One Division? Are you the person who asks that every stream, and every stream I say yes, and then you ignore me and keep asking? Or are you someone different? YouTube not in dark mode. Yeah, because I'm 38. You young people don't realise what happens to old man eyes. I was all in on dark mode until I turned about 35. And then it becomes harder to see. I have to turn the brightness up on the sat-nav in the dark and everything. I can't use dark mode anymore. It's old man eyes. You can't compare Blur and Maiden. Like I say, don't know anything about Iron Maiden other than the fact that I've never been interested. Oh, now we've got all the old folk telling me they still use dark mode. Look, I asked the optician about it because I noticed it because when I was using the sat-nav in the car, I couldn't see it anymore and I had to turn the brightness way up. And I mentioned it to the optician. They said, yeah, it's just part of getting old. Just old man eyes. And then gradually I got to the point where can't really use dark mode anymore because I can't really see it properly. So yeah, I'm light mode on everything now. It's very sad, but also doesn't really matter. Based on chat, I think it's just Kev's eyes. I don't think it's your age. I think it's your colour blindness. I mean, it might be part of the colour blindness, but it wasn't an issue until like 3 or 4 years ago. So it could be just general eyesight deterioration combined with colour blindness. My eyes were broken in the dark once I turned 37. There you go. It's not just me. I have that setting on when it's dark during the... When it's, yeah, I have that on Twitter still because I don't know how to turn it off. Again, because I'm old. Surely dark mode is no different to FM. I don't know. I haven't had a problem with FM yet. I'm not a scientist. Do I look like a scientist to you? Do I look like an optician? I asked my optician about trouble I had seeing targets when shooting. She told me to move closer. Nice. Perhaps I shouldn't trust my optician. If I ever had to code in light mode, I'm going to go into a different field. I did all my coding in light mode when I was at uni, so that was like 10 years ago. I've just never really had this obsession with dark mode that all you crazy kids seem to have. Dark mode's not great for my colour blindness, so it could be that more than the age thing, maybe. Need things bright as it looks miles better, and I just turned 39. Hey. Can I ask your opinion on a punny title for a series? You can. Hashtag Spanish Kev. That's what they call me in some circles. Can we win the league now they've done that to us? Okay, we've still got a game in hand. We're only 4 points behind. We need them to drop points against someone other than us. If we beat them at home and they drop points somewhere else, there is still a chance. In fact, if we win every game, we still win the league. Because if we beat them and win our game in hand, we finish above them. So we just have to win every game for the rest of the season. My eyes would get sore with light mode coding. I mean, I'm using my computer in light mode all day, every day, and my eyes don't get sore. Do a poll on the vlog channel, dark or light mode. We'll schedule one for tomorrow. Hold on. Should we schedule that already? Let's just refresh and get the results of this so far. There you go. See? See? Asking all the important questions. So, dark mode or light mode. And we're going to schedule that for... Because we don't want to bombard the page. What date is it? So it's the 10th tomorrow. That'll come out at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So now's a reason to make sure you subscribe to that channel so you can vote in that poll when it comes out tomorrow. And I'll reveal the results on tomorrow night's stream. How exciting. Football management in its simplest form. All we have to do is win all the games. Exactly. And we will, because we're brilliant at football. And we're going to start winning now. I'm 50 and colourblind and use dark mode on everything. Well, aren't you fancy? Aren't you fancy? I wouldn't be able to see. My eyes start to hurt with light mode. It always gives me a headache. See, my eyes start to hurt if I'm using dark mode on my Kindle. So I've got a backlit Kindle, and when I'm reading in bed at night, Anna will tell me to turn down the illuminations because I use the backlit light mode on my Kindle in a completely dark room at night. Because if I try and put it on dark mode, the letters just start to blur together. I can't pick out light letters on the dark background when it's backlit. Just can't. So even in a completely dark room late at night, I have backlit light mode on. Because I am a monster. The Beatles, yay or nay? Yay. Saw Blur live at Hyde Park. They were superb. They are superb. I never saw them live, but they are superb. Names is Sons of Willem, based off the phrase used by the Orange Men in Sons of William. I have no idea what most of that sentence means. Seems very niche. The Beatles is an odd one for me as well, because I'm surprised I like them, because I didn't grow up with them. I didn't really discover the Beatles until I was like 17, and I started collecting up the CDs from HMV. My parents never had the Beatles on when I was a kid, so it wasn't something I was exposed to when I was younger. But as I got older, I got into them. Probably, I got weird. I'm probably the only person in the world who was introduced to the Beatles via Oasis. rather than everyone saying, oh, Oasis are just a copy of the Beatles. It was, okay, I like Oasis. They were influenced by the Beatles, apparently. Let's go and try this Beatles thing that I hear people talk about. Tommy, thank you for the sub. Do I like Fleetwood Mac? I'm fairly indifferent to Fleetwood Mac. I'd love to see Kev react to a KSI song. Would be so funny. I've never heard a KSI song. You're not alone, Kev. I was exactly the same with the Beatles and Oasis. Hooray! Oasis I did see live. I saw Oasis live. It was the most violent, uncomfortable gig I ever went to. I saw Oasis at the Milton Keynes Bowl in about 2004. And it was just full of lads fighting. I've never seen so many fights at a gig as I did at that Oasis gig. It was one of those big outdoor summer things where there was like 5 or 6 support acts. So it was all afternoon. And then Oasis came on just as it started to get dark after all these morons had been drinking since lunchtime. And by the time Oasis came on, it was just fights everywhere. Never seen anything like it. That's one of the last gigs I ever went to because it was such an unpleasant experience. But it was worse than any football match I've been to for just people being thugs. Do I still hate KSI as I did in that upload vlog? I would say hating him is a little strong. I strongly disapproved of his actions that day. I think it was irresponsible and could have led to people getting seriously injured. And also his actions at Eurogamer years ago was just scummy as well. They're the only 2 interactions I've ever really had with him, and he's acted like a scumbag both times. Now, maybe he's not a scumbag now. Maybe he just plays up and pretends to be a scumbag for views. But the 2 interactions I've ever had with him, he's been a scumbag. So... Were Oasis any good live? Yeah, they were really good. They're Oasis. They know how to put on a concert. We've just lost the league. We're not gonna win the league now after that. What did he do the first time? The first time he was running around Eurogamer Expo. He's banned for life from EGX. But he was running around just being really inappropriate to girls. I forget the details. There's videos of it on YouTube. His original video got taken down. But people have re-uploaded it over the years. And it's just basically him going around asking girls to get their boobs out and stupid stuff like that. It was just like proper... Ugh. He was just terrorizing the place. This was in about 2012, 2013. I think it was my first EGX. So that would have been 2012, I think. That was my first EGX. So it was a long time ago. But I never really accept that as an excuse because when I was a teenager, I didn't run around with a camera asking girls to get their boobs out. So, you know, doesn't matter how young you are. Sometimes people just know right from wrong. I think he's apologised for it since and said he was wrong in hindsight, but yeah, I'm of the same opinion. Yeah, like I say, I mean, I'm willing to give people a second chance, but then my second interaction with him is a staged fight altercation in the middle of a panel upload that caused every kid in the room to basically rush the stage. It was the closest I've ever seen. It's like it had the potential to be like a small-scale Hillsborough disaster. It was ridiculously irresponsible. Cameras weren't around when I was a teenager. I mean, they were. But I sort of maybe get the point you're trying to make, but I didn't go around asking girls to get their boobs out when I was a teenager, because that's a scummy thing to do. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I wouldn't say I hate anybody. So I wouldn't say I hate him. Just like I say, the only two times I've ever been aware of anything he's done have both been very negative experiences. And I've never watched a video that he's made. I've never heard any of his songs. I never saw any of his boxing or anything like that. So I have absolutely no idea. He could be the nicest guy in the world. He could make really fun, engaging content, but I'm just not interested. I don't think it's for me. Right. We need to put an end to this poor form. We've lost 2 games. I wouldn't say that's poor form necessarily. We're still second in the league. We could still qualify for Europe. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, we did a football. People just call him a fat neck while he laughs like Scooby-Doo. And that's all you need to become a millionaire, is it? Feel free to start calling me a fat neck and I'll giggle. If it gets me millions in the bank, I'll do that. I don't really know what being a fat neck means. Has he got a fat neck? I guarantee my neck is fatter than his, that's for sure. Am I too late for the Work the Space raid? Never too late. Is this a journeyman save? Yes. Yes, it is. Probably. I mean, it's officially a save with no rules. We had a rule about where we would start, but from here, we'll just see what happens. We might leave. We might stay forever. Depends how we're feeling. We will almost certainly look at what jobs are available in the summer, but that doesn't necessarily mean we'll go and take them. I don't even know what fat neek means. What on earth does that mean? I'm too old for all this. Still waiting for my fat neck to pay my rent. I have never in my 38 years of life seen that word before. Neek equals nerd plus geek. I hate young people so much. Why did that word need creating? I mean, excuse my ignorance. Those 2 words mean the same thing. Why do you need to confirm? Why do you need to combine them? If I was you, I'd not look it up on Urban Dictionary. I don't think I've ever looked anything up on Urban Dictionary, so there's no fear of that. The young kids' new slang. Fat neek. I don't understand. I don't. Not only do I not understand, I'm fairly confident I also don't care. I'm so glad I'm above all this. Beyond all this nonsense. Dun, 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 dun. What is Urban Dictionary? My understanding of Urban Dictionary is it's where old people look up words that young people have said to find out what they mean. Right, we'll make that change. Easy change to make. Come on, boys. We've got to get back to winning ways. There's a place in Europe at stake here. No, that's not the change I was trying to make. I was trying to push Bandera forward because it's nice to now be able to make a substitution that involves taking off Maddox when he's not playing well. Urban Dictionary ceased being funny years ago. Was it supposed to be funny? If you want money, do Reddit videos and clickbait. See, I've never used Reddit, so that kind of rules me out of that. I don't really understand how Reddit works. I've tried getting my head around it. I just can't follow the threads on there. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't work like a forum, and that breaks my mind, and I'm not interested enough to learn. Come on, boys. Oh, no. No. Rubbish. This is one of our games in hand as well. We really need to win this. That's what's happened so far in this save. We started unemployed and we ended up at LLANELLI in the division below. We got promoted and now here we are trying to win the league. I'd argue it's easier to follow than classic forums. Probably because you've used it more than classic forums would be my guess. Whereas I grew up on forums and I try and figure out Reddit and just don't get it. It's a mess. It's a mess. I just want to be able to follow a conversation in real time the way it happened. Okay, I have a question. Can I ask you, on your fitness app you use for your weight loss, can you change what you eat and when each day? Yes. I like how we've gone from Blur to KSI to Reddit. Welcome to the stream. I'd love to give you an upvote. I don't know what that means. And again, I don't want to know what it means. It sounds dumb, so I don't care about it. Surely, I mean, old man here, why is it not just called a vote? Why does it have to be an upvote? You're not going to vote someone down, are you? That's not how voting works. Just call it a vote. Reddit, you're full of idiots. Just call it a vote. Kev is destined for low karma. Oh, God. Oh, God. Because there are down votes too. Well, then that's dumb. That is dumb. Oh. Upvote is a like on Reddit. So why is it not just called a like it is everywhere else? It's a way of saying someone's statement is wrong. Oh, good, because the internet needs more ways for people to say someone has said something wrong. My impression of Reddit as an outsider looking in is it's where the worst dregs of scumbags on the internet hang out. The sort of pillocks who are blocked from my comment sections, blocked on Twitter, blocked here on the stream. I feel like they're the ones who hang out on Reddit the most. American here, what's a wang basket? I mean, British people aren't going to be able to help you with that. It's one of my made up swear words because I don't swear, so I say wang basket. I mean, if you look at the definitions of what both wang and basket are and do a little bit of lateral thinking, you can probably quickly figure out what word it's replacing. But it's one of my family friendly things. No Context FM is crying right now. He'd have to do something original then, wouldn't he, if there was no Reddit? The r/LOLLUJO community is nice, is it? Sure they are. I use Reddit to keep up on SEER autism things because they did kiss her. But I mean, I'm not going to go on Reddit. Wang basket's on Urban Dictionary. Oh, wag basket. Is that, have you deliberately put wag? Because I feel like wang basket isn't something I've learned from anybody. Wang basket is on Urban Dictionary. I would love to know what Urban Dictionary thinks wang basket means. And I'm still claiming that I coined it years ago. Do they have an origin story? Is it me? Because I've been saying wang basket for about 10 years. Does it predate 10 years ago? I'm going to sue this Urban Dictionary and take my official credit. I need to know what the Urban Dictionary definition of wang basket is. See if it means what I consider it to mean. Dates back to 2005. No, I'm not having that. That's made up. We're taking this site down. Someone give me the definition. Someone of the r/LOLLUJO is asking if it's dead. I mean, it was never alive. I've never had anything to do with it. Someone who is both a D ... and an idiot. That's not what I consider it to mean. Should have registered the trademark. I know. Well, I'll continue to use it with my own definition of what it means. And if people think it's I mean, we're describing roughly the same people here. Comes from a combination of the word basket and the word wang and the term basket case. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, that's not what it means to me. Like I said, add a little bit of lateral thought. The 2004 definition: 1, a stupid person; 2, a carrying case for a wang. Nice. The second one's closer. Oh dear. Just watching people coaxing Kevin. I can't say my definition because it's the worst of the swears. I'm obviously not going to say it. Love the fact we've had to put the PG notice on. What's the worst of the swears? Look at the comment directly above yours. And now apply your lateral thought to work out why it's a replacement for that. It's not hard. It's really simple. Oh my word. Yes, Chesterfield. It means Chesterfield. I have no lateral thought or vocabulary. Never mind then. You'll never know. You'll never know, and it doesn't really matter that you'll never know. You'll be all right. Oh my goodness. My mind's too innocent for this. So's mine. I don't know what all this is about. Yeah, as Jack says, it's time to move on. That being said, I am allowing that because I like the way that's phrased. So I'm overruling and allowing that comment to come through. But now we're moving on. Why am I getting notifications? Kingston are losing 2-0, everybody. This is disastrous. I didn't know they were 1-0 down. I didn't get that notification. How are we doing in this game? Same as all the other games. We're not winning. Oh, come on. We're falling apart. Charlie Ridge is still scoring for fun, but the rest of the team have given up. What happened to the form? We signed players and then stopped being good. It's a problem. Oh, I've got another thing coming through. Oh, this is Anna. Is she telling me off? She's not. What's the plan if no one offers me a job, even if I win the league? Win the league again. And then win the league again. And someone... I mean, I'm going to apply for jobs. I'm not waiting to be offered one. But, yeah, we'll definitely be looking for jobs in the summer. Anna tells me off at least once a stream. She can't tell me off today because she came in here and admitted on camera that she'd been asleep for an hour. So I am officially on moral high ground at the moment. Apply for the next highest league. Yeah, that's the plan. The next highest league is the Northern Irish Premier Division. So we're going to apply for jobs in Northern Ireland. The plan is we're going to go Wales, then Northern Ireland, then Ireland, then Scotland, and then England. And work our way through. I heard she was resting her eyes. Oh dear. Am I considering doing the American version of Bourne? Yes, we talked about that quite a lot earlier in the stream, actually. We had a good long conversation about it. So you might want to check out the VOD, or even check out this on LOLLUJO Live when it arrives on there, probably early next week. Are we enjoying LOLLUJO Live? You lot don't even need it. You're here for the streams anyway. Or how many of you are here because you've watched a stream replay on LOLLUJO Live and that's then brought you to watch the stream happen as it happens? That's an interesting question. I'm amazed there's no second division Republic of Ireland jobs available. Yeah, but that's a downgrade. We don't want to move down to a second division. We want to move up. So we're in the Welsh Premier League now. The next league up is the Northern Irish Premier League. We don't want to drop lower than that. I'm not dropping down a league. That seems counterproductive. There you go. We're going to do a triple substitution just because we can. Live is my radio. Awesome. I watch both. Awesome. We qualified for applying for monetization again on LOLLUJO Live today. It's been insane. You have to do 240,000 minutes of watch time. We did it in 3 days. I remember when I was trying to get... What channel would it have been? Might have been Andy's channel. When we were trying to get that monetized, it took like 6 months. Whereas we did it in 3 days on LOLLUJO Live. It helps having 3 or 4 hour long videos, I guess. Annie, thank you very much for the gifted subs.
Leiden's just gifted 3 subs.
What if you got promoted into a higher division? So, for example, you moved to Scottish League 2, you went through the Scottish tape. We wouldn't go to Scottish League 2, though, because that's below where we are now, according to reputation. We're going to go... If we go Welsh Premier League, Northern Irish Premier League, Irish Premier League, Scottish Premier League, English Premier League, which is a bit of a tall order, I think we could probably go Scottish Premier League to Championship, and it's still an upgrade. But if we follow that plan, then we're upgrading the league we're in every time. What if they gave me a sack of cash to move down? I probably still wouldn't. Andy had a channel. Andy still has a channel. Andy's got like 15, 20,000 subscribers. I don't actually know how many it is off the top of my head. We've conceded a late goal again. Annie, thanks for the bits as well. Lovely, lovely, lovely. There's more potential in Scotland or Ireland, even if you move down. I mean, there's not much more potential in Ireland. I'll level with you, there's probably a little bit more potential in Scotland, but I'm not going down to the lower leagues in Ireland. What happened to Andy's channel? Nothing, it's still there. Are we doing extra time now? Oh, so this is the cup game. See, we got to the final of this last year from the second tier. And now we're going to get knocked out. At least it's not a league game that we're messing up. Orion, thank you very much for the sub. Can we make another sub? Probably not, but we'll try. Oh, we can. Can we make another one? No. Only 4. We lost to these in the final, did we? Did I just demand more, or did I accidentally push the one above? I hope I demanded more. That was the plan. I could have said no pressure, which is not what I wanted to say. Why does it keep pausing? What is pausing the game, and why? So we're doing penalties again, are we? Come on, Gethin, pick me my penalty shooters. Gethin, do the team talk. I've lost the dressing room, I think. But I think we lost to them. Was too busy blaming Clates to remember. Zealand is on my PC. He wishes. He wishes. Come on! Let's get little Zealand out. And also Zealand's brother. It's the Zealands. Dun, 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 dun. I'll take those away from you. I've got 2 now. I never used to have 2. It could be Little Zealand and Little Ben, couldn't it? Yeah, they love it. They love it. Oh, we missed a penalty. Beautiful. Sorry, I need to go. Need some... Bit drunk from doing a shot of gin every time I talk. I mean, it's my stream. I'm going to be talking all the way through. That feels like you were just drinking out of a bottle. Come on. Oh! Oh! It's back on! It's back on! Are we going to win the Welsh Cup? It's the big one. This is what we're in this for. Oh, for God's sake. How do you hit the post? It's the smallest target you could possibly aim for. How do you hit the post? What am I aiming to hit? 100k? Yesterday? ASAP? I don't really have a time in mind. I'd love to wake up to it tomorrow. Well, at least we don't have to worry about the cup. No more cup distractions. Oh. So, we've just got this many league games left. And if we win them all, we win the league. That's not even true anymore, is it? Oh, we're not going to win the league. Odin's Fury, thank you for the sub. I don't really understand how this has happened. It was all going so well, and then it wasn't. I mean... just how? How has it come to this? Oh... Team meeting. Nah, team meetings are for losers. Yes, Gethin Jones is my assistant manager. Hired purely because his name was Gethin. The AI is acting to combat my tactic. It's not. That's a myth. It doesn't do that. Lots of people think that's a thing. It's not. What it might be is the game has decided that it's time for me to have 5 games doing a different tactic and then switch back to this one. Just so it thinks I'm doing something. It might think I'm too much on autopilot. But yeah, the game, the whole AI figuring you out thing doesn't happen. That feels like something that a tutorial channel would tell you about. Just so they can clickbait the title. How do I know it isn't a thing? Because I've been playing this game for 25 years. Sawyer Ziplining Hippo. Hope you like my new name. I do like your new name. I thought, how often do you change that name? I thought you were only allowed to do it like once a year or something. Should we try and sign another player? We don't need a winger. A winger's not going to help us now. Dun, 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 dun. Now, the main way I know that the game doesn't figure you out is because you can go 10 years without changing your tactic and it's fine. But then the one time you hit a bad run of form, the first instinct from some people is always, oh, the game's figured you out. That's not what's happened. I imagine what's happened is Billy Collins got upset because we sold his drinking buddy. And now because he's a team leader or an influential player, there's half a dozen of them now who are feeling a bit grumpy and morale's taking a little bit of a hit because we sold our reserve goalkeeper and didn't realise how important he was to dressing room atmosphere. And it'll be that. Yeah, as Marcinho says, opponents change their approach due to your reputation, not by figuring out the tactic. Exactly that. Social Blade says I'll hit 100k in 48 days. I mean, that would be nice. When I said at the start of FM21, I'd like to get there before FM22. So if we get to do it by like the end of Non-League to Legend, that'd be brilliant. I can't even remember how many subs I had at the start of FM21. I think it was around 75,000. We've had some huge growth since this game came out. Too busy talking about job moves. That's why I upset the players. It could be that. They could be listening. I've had this happen before when I've won so many games in a row, then lose 5, change tactic for 5 games, win most of them, and then change back. Yeah, exactly. That is definitely a thing. It will sometimes think, oh, hang on, this is going a bit too well. Especially if you're a team like us with a lower reputation and probably lower quality players. I told you Home would get you to 100k. I don't know if we can credit Home for it. Home's barely getting 10,000 views a day now. Home's struggling a little bit. Non-League to Legends has been massive this year, though. It's still regularly pulling 15,000 viewers. And I've never had a series do that this deep in. Never, ever, ever. But I think the actual thing that's done it is those one-off videos that I did earlier in the year. The how I spent 100 million on a £1 million budget. That's got like 80,000 views now, I think. That's brought in so many subscribers. The Beginner's Guide has brought in subscribers. The XG video brought in subscribers. That the Retro Database one is still bringing in views all the time. That's like 250,000 views now. So they're the ones that have brought in the new people. It's standalone videos, and I've done that more than ever this year. And I need to get back into that habit. I kind of stopped doing it for a little while over Christmas and never got back into it, and it's now the middle of February. So I should probably do a standalone video. I'm actually thinking of doing a video on to do with the transfer system again, building off the back of the poll that we did the other day about whether or not using installments is an exploit. I want to explain why it's not. And I think that I need to, if I can figure out a way to clickbait that title, then I want to do a video explaining why it's not an exploit. And it's not just because that's what they do in real life. I think it is overpowered and overused, but I think it balances out some stuff that's underpowered and doesn't really work. So I think it's fair game because of other stuff. I'm going to make a video on that, but I need to figure out how to clickbait it, or else it's not worth doing. But once I've figured that out, that video will exist. Right, every one of these games that we're struggling in, we're going ahead and then throwing it away late on. I actually am starting to wonder if it's the whole being part-time thing. It's not much of an excuse because there's only 2 teams that are full-time. And Cardiff Met Uni are definitely not one of them, and they seem fitter than we are. But we are just struggling late on in games. Do I cheat in Football Manager? That is actually a really good title. There's your clickbait. Expect to see that video in the next week. Do I cheat at Football Manager? Brilliant. There you go. Clickbait done. Have I seen the SYC new scouting method? I haven't. But if it's not just relying on your scouts, it's not really relevant to me anyway. Oh, this is annoying. Late goals are a nightmare. Do I cheat the transfer system? Yeah, that's an even better version of it. Oh, at least we got an equaliser. We're not even going to get into Europe at this state, at this rate. Not that it really matters. I think your team is nervous because they're not used to being this high in the table. It could be that. These are right out of the Zealand manual. I mean, Zealand has taught us all a lot since bursting on the scene. Such rotten form. But we're still second in the league. If we hadn't have hit this terrible run of form, we would have won the league. It's so frustrating. That month has been absolutely hideous. 6 games remaining. We're going to play this one more game and then we'll call it a night. And we'll do the final 5 games tomorrow night and then the transfers and the job hunting. And that should fill a nice little 3-hour spot on your, I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday night tomorrow, is it? What day is it today? Is it Tuesday? I've got to put the bins out if it's Tuesday. Maybe you can try that strange thing called holding on to a lead. Maybe go defensive. Do I look Spanish to you? Hold on to a lead. Go defensive. That's what losers do. Winners just keep attacking. Do an experiment video. Nah, you're all right. I don't want to bore everybody to death. What's my average time spent in a transfer window? It varies depending on the level that we're at. In this save, we'll probably be done in like an hour and a half because it will just be bring in a load of free transfer trials, sign the best ones, and then move on. Whereas I've done the Arsenal one today that will be out in a few days. And that took me 4 or 5 hours. Usually the higher up I go, the longer the transfer window takes. Do I watch my videos back? Yeah, most of the time. Not always. Most of the time. Have I ever done a Director of Football challenge? According to the official canon of my channel, no. Because we were pretending it never happened. Ah, right. Come on, boys. Let's at least try and get into Europe. Bum, 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 bum. Pump those fists! Come on now. What is that behind the goal? They're not even trying to put a football stand there. That's an AstroTurf. Turf. That's right. With a TH. It's a brand name. Why have they got an Astro? It's not. It's a car park, actually. There's my colour blindness again, because now I see that that's not green. So they've got a car. I've never seen a car park. That is a multi-storey car park on the side of the pitch. I've never seen that before. What a pathetic stadium. What's the Director of Football challenge where you get Director of Football to do all your transfers? See the Chivas save that never happened. Expect a Twitch Prime sub tomorrow. Thank you very much. Oh, come on, do a football. Yeah, the Arsenal saves on YouTube. I've noticed it's longer doing top tier transfers because there's less high quality players that take the team. Yeah, exactly. I actually have to go into all the scout reports and have a look and all that kind of stuff. Whereas it's super simple in the lower leagues because you just take a load of people in on trial, or I just take a load of people in on trial and then just sign the ones that look best on the team report. But you can't do that. When you're a big club, you have to scout everybody properly, and then you have to wait until they're 100% scouted, and then even then you've got to negotiate a transfer and it might not happen, and you need like a plan B, C, D. It's much more complicated. The fans in the stadium are mugs. You can see the whole pitch from the car park. That's a very good point. Someone said in the comments to one of my videos the other day, one of their favourite things in my videos is trying to discover ways to watch the game for free. And this is a perfect example of it. Did I spend £1 billion at Arsenal like at Bayern? No. I did spend £1 billion at Bayern, but it was over 2 windows. It wasn't in one window. I don't remember what winning is like. We're taking off Charlie Ridge. That's how desperate things are getting. Do you remember when we used to win football matches? Because I don't. There you go. We're randomly changing players around at this point. This isn't good. Do you want to do a football, lads? We're still second in the league. Barry's a joke. I think it might be the one out of EastEnders. He ain't catching us up. His form's as bad as ours. If we could have a goal here, then that sets us up for a comeback in tomorrow night's stream. We could still win the league, everybody. TNS might crumble. I hear that's really likely to happen here in Wales. TNS just having a bad time. Williams is in! You son of a mongoose. My word. Can we have the goal now? Yeah, tomorrow night's stream will just be playing Turn This Ship Around in the background for the whole stream. That's where it's gone wrong. We haven't played that when this started to turn. Isn't it Barry the town in Gavin and Stacey? No, it's Barry the man out of EastEnders. This is his team that he owns. It's a common misconception about Welsh football that this is named after the town of Barry. For goodness sake, what is it with the late goals? Remember when that didn't happen every game? Oh, God. I'm so fed up with that happening every game. Oh, no. Who are we going to raid? Anna's phoning me to tell me to shut up, I think. I can't answer the phone yet, Anna. I'm ending the stream. Let me end the stream. Let's find somebody to raid. Oh, this is just ridiculous. Who might be playing Football Manager that we can go and raid? And tomorrow night, we're going to come back with some form. Anna, I can't answer the phone yet. Just turn the stream on and you'll see that I can't answer the phone yet. Let's raid Omega Luke. Ask him about his DMs. Say, have you had any good DMs off Kev lately? Let's see if he talks about what a legend I am. So go raid him. Back here, 7 o'clock tomorrow. And we'll actually play proper football tomorrow. Toodle pip, folks. Bye. That's not the end screen, Kev.
Oh, maybe jump. Hello, Raiders. Thank you so much, Kev. Thank you so much, Kev. How are you, mate? How's the stream? Welcome, Raiders. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Thank you for all the follows as well. That's massive. Kevy 5 times comes in with a huge raid. I appreciate that one. Not to mention, Kev's been really helping me lately with my my YouTube channel. So, double thanks, really, for Kev. Dropping that one on. If you're not giving Kev a follow, I mean, thank you, Jeff, for putting the link in there. If you're not giving Kev a follow, I don't know how you've managed to watch me without watching Kev. Follow only chat makes it really hard for me to secretly follow. It's all good. I'll let you off, Kev. We've never really crossed paths on Twitch as of yet, so I'll let you off, mate. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Give me a hell yeah. I think Kev appreciates my follow chant as well. By the way, I might mute that just for a sec. Just for a sec. Okay? Because that could become annoying. We cut him off there as well. He's going to be even more livid with that. But Raiders, thank you very much, my friends, for coming across. This is the Youth to Gold. We are only allowed to sign teenagers. And we are not allowed to use players who are 30 or above. Kev, subbing as well. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. That's huge. I'm annoyed I turned off my sub alerts noise now. You win this prize lottery. So, this is the Youth to Go, like I mentioned. We are only allowed to sign teenagers, not allowed to use players who are 30 or above. So the object of the save is we sign these teenagers for as